What's up, guys? Welcome back, man, to another episode of the Sim Standard Podcast. As you can see, it will be a format tonight with a full panel. You know, we got Smitty, we got Azure back on the show tonight, guys. You know, handling his personal business, doing great things with school and all that. But we're fortunate to have him tonight. And we also have Relly. We have Zulu, and we have Millennium OS, which I spent a lot of time with over the weekend. We actually flew back together, side by side. We both slept a little bit, and it was good, man. I had a good time with OS. But yeah, this is going to be a full show. Not going to waste you guys' time tonight as far as doing intros. I mean, we don't even know how long this show is going to be. It can't be much longer than 10 o'clock. Unfortunately, because of my travels to EA, my boss decided I need to come into the office tomorrow. I think she's just doing that just to be funny. So I got to go to sleep early tonight, man. But we should be able to have a good time. So let's go ahead without further ado. What we're going to talk about tonight, obviously, is the impressions of Madden NFL 18. We'll give all of our thoughts. We'll try to get through that. And then we're going to ask that you guys put your questions, you know, in the comments. You know, I got some paper here. I'm going to try to write them down the best I can. Hopefully the rest of the guys here will do the same. But we'll do it that way. It's not going to really make a lot of sense to bring more guys on because, as you see, we're already fully staffed, so to speak. That's just going to be a little too complicated. But we ask that you guys send your questions. And how about this? Don't send them until we say it's time for questions. So that way it's easier for us to keep track of them. All right? So then we'll answer some of your questions that way, and we'll try to have a good time, man. So let's go ahead and get it started. Smitty, let us know, man, what were your initial thoughts of Madden 18 at EA Play?
Madden 18 was on point. You know what I'm saying? The game felt like the game looked really good. I mean, mind you, we were playing it on PS4 Pros. You know, well, for the most part, I played it on PS4 Pros and I played it on the Xbox joint. But what I'll say is that the game felt it felt good. Like it you know, it's a point you basically have made, Sim, before. Like what basically is happening with Madden now is that it's getting in the mold of FIFA, where it's like if you just looked at it, you wouldn't be able to tell what was really done. Like there's certain things here and there you'll be able to see, but it's not going to be this glaring visual like OMG. You know what I mean? Yo, look what they did. Now they're on Frostbite. Like it's not gonna go on. It doesn't come out like that. So players felt more attached to the field. It's like simulation mode, because that's mainly the setting that I played on. Simulation mode was a great feeling. I had a great time. I had a great time playing in the trenches, especially when we played our Mutt Squad game. You know, some people saw the picture on Twitter. Myself, Sim, and Shotmaster. But I will say the secondary play, the zone play, the logic that's happening there, a lot more logical play, which I'm very happy to see. And the way they break on the ball is like OMG. Them cats are making plays in that secondary now, so you really got to be on your P's and Q's, especially with the tools and stuff you have at your disposal. So I'll leave it brief at that, but slide it on to the next guy.
Yeah, really, you up, man. And guys, this is important. I want you guys to pay attention, like I said in the chat, to guys not named Sim, Smitty, and or Azure, because people always try to say, oh, you know what they're going to say. I want y'all to hear it from guys who are like-minded, but they have I don't want to say they don't have a connection, because I'm actually giving some secrets away. A couple of these guys do have a real good relationship with the devs, but they're not the game changers that you guys, you know, always put that tag on. So these guys are going to give you the real. So if you don't hear it out of our mouths, you get to hear it from theirs. So Relly, man, go ahead and let them know what your full experiences was. And to keep in mind, guys, Relly is also coming from the competitive side of things as well. So this should be good.
All right. The first thing that immediately stuck out to me was the run game and the presence of there being a pocket. you had new plays in the game from the run game perspective, such as like 94 Mike, 94, 96 Will, 26 duo, which based on each play, the fullback would target a different person, which was very, very nice to have. And you also had crack replace blocking on the outside from the wide receivers, which is something that you would not see any other year in Madden. The blocking from wide receivers downfield is extremely improved. Locomotion felt great. You got control of your quarterback behind the line of scrimmage, which is something I haven't felt in a couple of years. So that was really nice. Like you said, Sim, in your vlog, you spent a lot more time just playing. I was more so actually like labbing things and trying to find certain problems. I didn't just play on competitive. I played on both modes several times. I watched people play on both modes a lot. ID the mic. I know it's been controversial over the name the past couple of days. Clint's already come out and said that he might change it to Spotlight. He actually tweeted it out, so I can say it. ID the mic is going to eliminate a lot of issues. However, if you ID the wrong person, you're going to get yourself in a lot of trouble.
As you should.
As you should.
Mm-hmm.
User on defense, I already spoke on. There's no more crossman at all. There was 2 formations at the builder EA play that if you baselined, it had slipped through, but they said they already had it fixed back at the studio. Zones play completely different. They're a lot tighter. You can't put defensive ends in man coverage on wide receivers anymore, only on halfbacks or tight ends. And even if you man them up on a tight end, I noticed you're at a major disadvantage. Man coverage is 100 times better, which I'm sure Sim is going to touch on a lot with shading and stuff, so I didn't want to go into that. Coach adjustments stood out. The one issue I did see was actually on sim mode, and that was like just like over the top blocking the backs, which they said they already knew about. Like I played one game, there was 6 blocking the backs. So, but that was something they already knew about. There were a couple other little minor bugs you would expect in the alpha that I found, which I pointed out to either Christian or whoever. I had to send one thing to RG because I needed someone with stick to do that. But that's just like a slight overview. You know, I know we're going to get more in depth. So,
yeah, you know, we're going to dive in, man. So, again, guys, it's funny how we all on the same page. We're giving quick overviews, and we're going to come back in and like dive on individual things. I want to skip around just a bit just for this particular opening segment. Zulu, I want to actually jump to OS first because I know OS, again, had hands one time. Then I'll come back to you and Azure, and then after that, you know, we'll follow the, you know, from the left, getting everybody in that way. But real quick, OS, man, what were your initial thoughts? Good, bad, and indifferent?
Well, first of all, coming from a sim background, franchise background, Mutt Squads was amazingly fun.
Yeah,
like it's one of those modes that I really think will allow some of the franchise guys to open up and play a little bit of Mutt with some of the ideas they may or may not have to get people involved. I think that's going to be something that allows them to, you know, get involved in a different game mode, which will be fun. But I also got a chance to sit down for about, I think I counted like 5 hours with simulation mode on 15-minute quarters, just messing around, seeing what I could and couldn't do. Target passing is extremely tough, as it should be. I think it's going to change the way a lot of people play in terms of throwing to a spot if they get a chance, if they really learn how to do it. The other thing that I really noticed was, you know, as said before, like blocking is so much better. Especially on pulls and powers, like the guards, instead of going into open space now, they actually look for work around the line. I even saw guards turn back and fullbacks too, turn back and pull the guy that the center let go. Like a guy that was about ready to cut a running back before he got across the line, the guard picked him up and let the center go out. And then on like stretch plays, I saw a lot of double team with the tight end and the tackle, where the tight end would chip and then keep moving, or if you cut it back inside, the tight end would hold and the tackle actually chipped and started going upfield. So like a lot of those advanced blocking, like again, what I said, you don't see in 17, we're in, and it was very, very like encouraging to see. The other thing is something I tweeted about almost immediately after the event. There are 2 modes for us, and they can tune them separately. Like that, I don't think people quite understand how groundbreaking that is. Last year, they had a lot of problems with, one patch would come out because the competitive players were asking for something. One patch would come out because the sim guys were asking for something. The fact you have 2 modes now that you can do separately and actually continue to evolve the game in 2 different paths, I think that may be the largest thing to come out of this, the largest fact to come out of EA Play, is that we each are going to be able to evolve this. Each community is going to be able to evolve this game for the better for what they do.
Absolutely, man. I mean, we're going to dive deep into that, guys, because just to prep y'all in advance, I'm definitely going to ask everyone at some point your initial thoughts about a CFM or lack thereof. I know there was not a lot of information, but, if you guys were able to view the interview I did, Rex kind of gave all of the features, but we'll come back to that. Now, Mike Peters, man, you guys know him from PX1 Sports. I messed up. I forgot to send his invite. So he's here, but he's supposed to be a part of the panel. I'm going to come back to you on PX1 in a minute. I want to go to Zulu and then Azure. And then after I come to you, I'll back up and give my thoughts. And then for the rest of the show, it'll be, from the left, Smitty, yourself, Relly, Zulu, OS, Azure. And then, I'll be like the tail end, sort of the host or what have you. But real quick, Zulu, man, from the outside, and actually Azure will kind of be in the same boat. He didn't attend EA Play. And actually, I don't believe Azure actually had an opportunity to go down this year. So he hasn't actually played the game. So you guys are both in the same boat. So I want to hear from your perspective, man, in regards to what you're seeing, what we're saying. What are your thoughts? I know you got some good ones.
Well, let me start off by saying that when the 3 of y'all, Smitty, Sim, and AZ, when y'all put this together 2 weeks ago, I'm not even sure if y'all realize how big tonight was going to be. Because, this is the first time that I can remember that so much good news has come out and we haven't seen any footage. I mean, in years past, there was always a lick of footage, whether it was leaked or whether the devs decided to showcase it, or there was something. And people could chew on something, whether it was negative or positive, but the footage wound up being the focus, but it was such a small sample size, right? And now we have impressions firsthand, and all I'm hearing is a harmony. All I'm hearing is news that makes me so hopeful that, I'm hoping, I hope you could hear this tonight, even as I'm kind of chilled by what used to be called the patch culture. I'm actually, I missed out what his name is. I think it was PX. He was talking about it wasn't PX. Maybe it's OS. But talking about the patch culture, how revolutionary that is. Before I get started, let me just say that's going to be profound. We're going to have a profound, regardless of where you're at, whether it be sim or tourney. I think that the fact that they can attend to each group is going to really shock people, because they won't even know what they're supposed to argue about anymore. Like, we're moving toward a different phase in our Madden experience. So that's just to start off. But my perspective is similar to a lot of cats out there in that I run my own Madden community. We have 2 leagues. I watched all the videos. Obviously, I saw Sim's interview with Rex. I saw somebody's interview with Clint, and we're at the point now where I feel like Rex has decided he's done fooling with us. He's tired of dancing on his left foot, and people complain he doesn't dance on his right. Then he jumps on his right foot, and someone says, well, you're choosing the left or the right. Why not both feet? And I think he's at the point now where he's approaching game design like teachers approach teaching. You know, when you teach a class, it's okay if you design a class session toward those students who don't know the subject matter, but you don't want to design your course, your syllabus around the students who are who don't perform as well. You always want to challenge your students beyond what they think they're capable of aspiring to. And I think that we're at the point now where Rex realizes he can no longer cater the game toward those who need the most help. Instead, he's got to cater the game toward people who are better, which will then challenge all of us to get better, all of us to improve. And he's provided 3 different modes to allow you to do that. My third point, and this is my final point, is that with all the good news that I'm hearing about man coverage, I think it's really being underplayed how profoundly this will affect our playbooks. Because right now, let's say half, maybe even 65% of our playbooks on offense are designed to attack cover 1 man coverage. And nobody online, or very few people online, are willing to put themselves out there to call cover 1 man coverage. So as an offensive coordinator, you're like, oh, well, these plays are garbage. You just throw them out. You immediately just ignore all the plays that seem to be designed to attack cover 1 man coverage. On defense, the plays are designed to maximize coverage relative to pass rush. So if you call a cover 1 defense or anything that has 4-man line, but is predicated on a man coverage, if you don't hit the quarterback, everybody's going to be open. Tight end, halfback, fullback, all 3 wide receivers. Doesn't matter who it is. If man coverage works the way it's supposed to, or minimally, if man coverage has improved significantly, forget the plays that are rumored to have been added to Madden 18. If they just ported over the plays from Madden 17, now you got to re-examine the entire playbook, both offense and defense, because the chess match demands that you include man coverage now, because you have man coverage ratings that allow you to take advantage of your player personnel. I mean, there are whole teams right now that have better man coverage and zone coverage that you haven't really been able to, utilize. And now, if you just ported over the plays from Madden 17 to Madden 18, then the chess match is real, because you cannot assume that your opponent is calling zone. And you cannot assume that just because you see 2-man press that it's going to be cover 2. On the contrary, it might be a cover 1 robber press, and you don't know what's going on. So in closing, I would say that the best thing to come out from the outsider's perspective, someone who has not gone EA play, in my opinion, the best thing to come out of all of this is that Rex has forced us to develop a learning curve that I don't think I've experienced since the early days of Madden. And I'm very excited about that.
Yeah, man, it's good, man. I can't wait for this discussion to get deeper, because we're doing a heck of a job. We only have burnt 20 minutes right now, and I'm seeing some stuff in the comments. Let me let you guys know this before I pass it to Azure and PX1. I'm going to address the leak footage thing, why there isn't any and why you shouldn't judge it, blah, blah, blah. I'll do that in my piece, so hold tight for that. But Azure, man, first of all, brother, we happy to have you back on the show. Oh, man, this is going to be a good one for us, man. But like I told them, man, this was a crazy year. Because of frostbite and because of, competitive guys being in the mix, we didn't get to go down as often this year, which, is understandable. Azure actually hasn't had the opportunity this year for, to go down. So, man, what are your thoughts? I mean, you've talked to us, but what are your thoughts as far as what you're hearing? Not really seeing much, but what you got, man, early assessment?
Get to live outside of the curtain this year, like you said, not being able to go down and not attend EA play. So I kind of, I always take the pessimistic protagonist view of it, of what is the negative going to be. Honestly, when the beta was last year and how Madden 17 was at launch, I felt really excited about it. I felt about it, how people are feeling about the game right now. I feel like it's deja vu, and it's something that I tell Sim and Smitty all the time. It's my view is what's going to happen once it hits the masses. What's going to be the exportable thing? What's the thing that, I know we're coming out with 3 different modes: arcade, sim, competitive, but I need to figure out, and we won't really know until it actually hits stores, but I'm just waiting for that negative thing of what are people going to exploit and how's it going to be when people start playing this game competitively, and what are they finding to exploit. But I felt really good about the game. I feel like how people felt about it right now, like I said, with the beta and at launch. So if it's better than that, we're on the right track.
Yeah.
Just looking at the illegal leak footage that I found, there's some things in there that I like. I am concerned with the helpers, so to speak, and you have competitive gamers like Problem talking about previous plays should be off and all that kind of stuff. But I'm going to get in the competitive realm this year, in that space. I'm going in there. Oh, yeah. I mean, I said I was going to do it last year, and I was actually doing excellent, before. I'm always like a first 2-3 month Madden player. Once they start making things easier and, defensive line insta shares go down and all this kind of stuff, then I start to lose my effectiveness. But I'm going to get in the competitive space this year, so I'll be interested to see how it goes this year. But, I want to be brief because I want to give it back to people who actually have had experience and touched on the game. Yes, I hear you. So, excuse my co-host. I have 2 of them. All right.
Yeah, man. For you guys that don't know, I'm gonna give Azure and even myself and probably Smitty our own title. We're like competitive sim guys. For example, if we feel like we can get in a certain arena and compete, we all for it. We just didn't traditionally play MUT and things like that because of how certain people play. Not guys that we know, not guys like Relly and guys of that nature that know football. We're talking about, and I hate to say it, but we're talking about dudes like Volterax. We don't got time for that. And I don't want to call that man out, but listen, he's known for an exploit that was in the game, so I got to call it. We ain't want to deal with that. We don't want to deal with the guys that's no huddle all the time and blah, blah, blah. No. But if there was a place, if competitive is the setting where everybody feels like it's comfortable, because believe it or not, competitive guys, there's a lot of things they don't want in the game. Y'all remember that tweet that Problem put out there? So yeah, I believe the competitive setting might actually be a medium where both sim and competitive guys can jump in and rock out.
And I'm gonna push for this year. I want a competitive sim type hybrid, because to me, honestly, I want a guy who can adjust to injuries and drop passes and penalties. I don't want to see it all just play out perfectly. Oh, this guy has 97 catch, so he catches everything. No, I want to see some variety, just like real football. So, I'm still going to push for that because we got in a big tussle over Twitter that a couple weeks ago about how, sim players don't really have a tournament to play in, under those settings of having injuries on, fatigue, that kind of stuff. So I'm might be spearheading that movement.
Yeah, man, that'd be great, man. PX1, I know you had hands on time. And let me apologize to PX1 and Relly and a few others, Hollywood Sports. Man, I was MIA at EA Play. Guys saw me like the first day, and after that, all I did was stay in the creator's cave. And I know that's my bad. I did actually end up running into PX1 the last day. We spoke for a little while. But I know that you actually had the opportunity to play it. So please share your thoughts as well, man, outside of us. What were your initial impressions? Of course, we all here understand it's still the work in progress game. But what were your initial thoughts after having some hands-on time?
Can you hear me right now?
Yeah, we got you.
All right,
Yeah.
it looked like it was muted. I thought it was great. I tell everybody all the time. I liked it more than when I played the beta last year. I know they would say that it's not as far along as the beta was last year, but I thought it was. Gameplay and everything. So, I mean, and we're also playing a build that's 3 months away from the final build. So, that plays a role too. I mean, for it to look that good and to have as few flaws as we all really saw out there, I thought that was great. The running, like the wiggle on the stick and being able to hit your hole and not try to cut back with the left stick and then run all the way across behind blockers. I love that. That was great. ID the mic, didn't get to use it a lot except when I screwed it up and tried to do it on play action. And that's a bad idea. Don't do that. Learn from my mistakes. The graphics, so on the squads, which I'm assuming was PS4 Pro on a 4K monitor, looked amazing. Like, I thought it looked like a different game from playing like regular Xbox. The colors on the Seahawks uniforms like just popped. It was really good to see them. I didn't even watch like any of the intros or any of the cutscenes or anything. So that was really promising. I'm looking forward to the visuals from that. The pocket was a lot better. Although that little clip that was released today shows a guy that is drifting back in the pocket like 7 to 10 yards. So I tweeted that Clint, like, can we make them pay for that? That's a little bit too good of a pocket. But I mean, overall, that looked good. Coverage was insane. Playing squads, like, if you ever played any of the football games in the past 10 years, pretty much, if not going all the way back to the beginning of Madden, and you're playing against man coverage, you can dice that up like easily. This year, playing squads, I couldn't get open against man coverage. I was trying. I was trying to do like wiggles, and I was trying to do stuff that isn't even realistic. And those guys were sticking to me like glue. I'm like, seriously? So I mean, that was really promising. Interceptions were high by everybody, mostly because of the zones reacted a lot quicker, so your windows were a lot tighter. That was nice to see. And actually, I don't know if it was there or down at the studio, but I did see a couple lineman injuries, which was nice. So they're in there, and that's going to be really fun, especially for leagues. Not just have to have your skill players get injured, but you're also going to see some injuries from the line. So overall, I thought it was great. I'm super excited about it. They still got a lot of time to tune it and make it look better. But I don't think this year, based on what I've seen, and again, judging from the beta last year, this year, hands down, there's anybody that says this year that it's not the best Madden. Obviously, we don't know, some weird bug comes in that they didn't expect or whatever. But just based on what we played, like the gameplay and everything, just so far ahead of anything that we've had before. I'm super excited about it.
What do you mean? It's better than 2K? Are you serious?
Man, it's hard to go down that road. But I mean, if you really put my head there,
I'm gonna have to eject you. Man. Yeah, man. It's literally, as I hear my 3-year-old's footsteps coming, it's literally. I'm gonna just give you the high level of things that I noticed and I like. The physics. Rex talked about it in the interview, and when he said that, see, I got to give you guys, I preference you with this. Just because we go down to EA, there are things that we talk about, especially early on, like February. Between February and like May, they go on what they call a sprint. They have different sprints throughout the year, like different segments or whatever. And in that time, there were a lot of things that popped up that were either discussed or I didn't even know about. Your ID the mics, things like that. And I never heard any conversation of frostbite physics and what frostbite physics would do. I didn't hear any of that back then. But now, once it's running, you hear that's what Rex kind of led with that in the interview. And I'm telling you, man, you see it. The game as a whole is just so much more, it's so smooth. Will there be issues? I'm sure. Will there be animation pops? Perhaps. But nothing jumped out at me. It's like I said before, man, the way I notice things, and that's why I tip my hat to guys like Relly. I know PX1 does a little bit of this, NY Kia, even Smitty from time to time. But Smitty and I and Azure are normally the type of guys that just play the game and we let issues pop up. So I'm not going to find certain things. I knew nothing about the nickel blitz last year until I saw it. And I was like, oh, interesting. I didn't know that because I didn't test that. So I say that to say this. I just played the game. So some of the questions I can't answer, but I can tell you this. I really didn't see anything that made me have to stop it and go and replay and be like, oh, that's bad. It runs smoother. The physics are much more tighter. Gang tackles. I mean, I saw like 5 and 6 man interactions, like legitimate. DB and wideout interactions at the catch point. The 2-man sequences have been smoothing out. They are much smoother. I didn't see much or any shifting. There was some, I did see some, like when it going into the 2-man, you could kind of see where it started, but nothing like what you would see in 17. Way more believable. Positioning seemed to matter. Organic knockouts. Y'all know I beefed about that so much. My Azure did also. Now you're going to see guys be able to hold on to the ball a little better. I had plenty of interactions, particularly with like Antonio Brown. Martavis Bryant had 1 or 2 where they were hit by 2 guys, held on to the ball. Didn't just drop it. Y'all know now, if you just breathe on them, you do the Lance Stevenson on them, the ball comes out. No, not in 18. At least not from the way I played. What else? Man coverage. Man, bruh. It works. It's still ratings based. And I have to be fair and I have to say I only played on simulation. So I can't say how it wasn't competitive. Surely can't tell you what it was like in arcade. I don't think I will ever play that. But man, it's real. I mean, you're not getting that huge gap no more. I even said this in the feedback session. It forced me to throw the ball on the break or anticipate the break because you can't wait no more. You wait 1 or 2, like a second too late, it might get picked or it's going to get knocked out. Tight windows. Not everybody. You can still get guys open, but you got to go through that playbook, just like Zulu just said. You better go through the playbook. I played on all Madden most of the time. Very good games. I feel like, y'all know I always jump out there and try it, even though I still feel like, and the devs have said that All Pro is the most balanced. I don't know that to be true for this year. I have to ask and confirm. So anyway, I played on all Madden, played against one team that was fairly, in my opinion, low rated. We couldn't see the ratings. Beat those guys by like a touchdown or 2. Then I turned around and played the Patriots. Patriots beat me by 2 touchdowns. Heck of a game, though. I was down 14-0. I remember telling Smitty, like, oh, man. Well, I was telling Shop, man, I'm getting trashed. Came back, pulled the game into, it was right at a tie. We tied at 21. The next thing you know, I couldn't really do too much, but I didn't feel cheated. Brady and the boys just took over. So it seems like the rating of the team and the players, it will definitely matter. I was able to run the ball on all Madden, the blocking. Man, the way they fill the hole and the way they target guys now, I didn't see any instances. And keep in mind, again, this is a small dosage, sample size. I didn't see any instances where my fullback blocked the wrong guy or the pulling guard. Even like Relly alluded to, you got receivers blocking downfield, cut block. Man, I'm telling you, it's the game. Let me say it this way. For all of us here that felt good about Madden 17 when it launched, you're going to love Madden 18. Trust me.
Did you face any elite defensive lineman?
Did I play as a defensive lineman?
No, did you face any like it? Aaron Donald or...
I'm trying to think. I played against the Falcons, and I played against
I did, just so you know.
Oh, you did? All right. What was your experience?
They can wreck a game. Same thing with outside linebackers in a
now, is that from a user, as in you were usering?
No.
CPU will get at you.
The CPU rush is much better.
Okay.
It's much more realistic too, based on the crash. The lineman will turn them a certain way. You've seen tango blocking. You've seen all that.
Yeah.
What defensive line stunts in? Do you know?
Not that I know of.
No, not really. Unless they were already designed into a play.
We created one, Azure, which was beautiful. Me and Smitty and Shop on butt squads. Beautiful. I mean, I held down the coverage, and they created an actual stunt and confused the offensive line, like legitimate. It was a thing of beauty.
Came away with 5 sacks in that joint, man. It was a thing of beauty what we was doing out there.
Because that's my whole game plan. Get to the quarterback and cause havoc up front. And when you can't do that, it negates the game for me. So, I'm in mud and I got elite offensive and defensive lines and they play like crap. So I'm hoping that because that's how I'm building my team from the trenches out. So,
yeah, man. I will say this, man. This is the time for everybody listening, even us here. Rex, I always like to say Rex slip up and say, because, Rex will throw some stuff in there at you. He slipped up and said in the interview that they have the ability to patch animation. So stuff like that, because y'all remember, AZ and Smitty, y'all remember when I said, I said this months ago, now that they're going to Frostbite and we kind of understand what Frostbite is able to do as a collective, I wonder how that will affect patches. Will they be able to do more? If they can do that, then I'm on them about the stunts and stuff like that. Like, we need this. I need that because, like you said, I need that, period. I don't even know how else to say that. We need to be able to create those type of things on the D line. Gotta have that, man. Now that you got the ID, the mic, and all of that. So if somebody, calls the wrong thing and I got a stunt running, gotta have it, man. Real quick, a couple other things, and then we'll go back around. What else I have here? Oh, target passing. It's a learning curve. I'm gonna tell you right now. Let me give you all a quick pro tip. It is the left trigger. So that's L2 on the PlayStation, LT on Xbox, right? You move the cursor with the left stick. It's on your primary receiver initially. You can change the primary receiver pre-snap. You can also move the cursor where you want it to go all over the place and hit another primary receiver. Keep in mind.
Here's my thing, man. I don't mean to cut you off, but I don't think people are going to have time to use that.
That's the point.
You know what I mean?
That's the whole point.
I think it's optional.
Yeah, okay. No, I'm just saying, I just think if the pass rush is where it's supposed to be, you're not gonna have time to do all that.
There you go. That's the point I'm getting to.
It's cool.
You can use it, but you better make sure you have a clean pocket.
That also means it's deadly when used if they don't want you to use it like that.
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Exactly.
If you step up in that pocket and it's clear. I mean, but think about it. Let's be honest real quick. And I want to get everybody's, opinion on this too. Maybe that'll be the topic we start off with. It's almost like the NFL, and follow me on this. When you see your quarterback for your team had a clean pocket and step into the throw, he placed that ball wherever he wants it to go. When he's under duress a little bit, it's a little accurate. Maybe not as bad, as much, unless you're an Aaron Rodgers type of guy who is phenomenal. But think about that. So it does do that, because the main question I got from people while there, man, how did you move in the pocket and use that? I was like, you really can't, because it's on the left stick.
Right.
So it's intended for you to have a clear mindset, like, all right, I'm going there. I'm going to try to work to get open, hit him, boom. Or it's a quick throw situation like in the red zone.
People are, just in my mind, I think people are going to try to exploit it on deep passes of, let me just throw it out there, get a fast receiver, and let them run under it.
You could try.
That's my initial. I don't have any experience playing it, but that's just what I think is going to happen, especially with highly skilled players.
Oh, and now when you learn it and master it, it's going to be deadly. And it's supposed to. But you know what? I'm going to table that for just about 2 seconds. Smitty, I'm going to come to you with that, and I'm going to go down the list and hear everybody's thoughts on it. Last few things, man, that I liked. Weight and momentum felt like it made a difference. I don't know how much so in tackling yet. I got to still test that, but I was seeing way more situations where the running backs were driving for more yards. The tackles seemed to be more impactful, but mainly the way it feels, like the locomotion. Rex did say that they made some changes to it, not a new system yet, But I can give you this. This is somewhat of a nugget, which they've said this themselves. They know player movement is paramount. That is something that they will be addressing to make it better, much better. But they did some things this year, and you're going to feel it feels a lot better. I did like MUT squads. I'm almost reluctant to say that, but bruh, that's going to be a lot of fun. ID the mic. I didn't get a chance to try that out because I don't know if it worked against the CPU because I don't know what they were trying to do. So we're going to have to lab that with another partner. Coaching adjustments. Best on best. It's in the game. This is going to be huge now that man coverage is a lot better.
Yep.
You can set it to more than best on best too.
Oh yes, man. You can do it based on height. What was it? Speed, height, overall
height, route running.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. But having man coverage actually work, that's going to be interesting. There's new presses. There are new ways for the receiver to get to fight. There's more fighting that you're going to see down the field for position. Guys are interacting way downfield, like running into each other and things like that.
You saw Banjo work.
I got something for you about that.
Oh yeah. But the last thing I was gonna say, Smitty, then I'll come to you. Say what you have here.
I'll be right back.
Oh,
all right. I get real quick about that.
All right. But last thing I would say is the pocket. The pocket seemed to form way better. I will comment. Oh, you know what? I can talk about the leak footage real quick, and then I'll throw it to one of you guys. I will comment on the video. I didn't try to drop back 9-10 yards, so I don't know. People always come to my channel and be like, "Oh, I saw." I wouldn't know. I told y'all I don't play a certain way. I will never know if I can drop back 15 yards and throw it because I'm not going to do that. I'm not that guy. There's other people out there that test those things. I will always.
That's gonna be one of the things I gotta know because I'm tired of that in 17.
Yeah.
People just do it subtly. Like you should lose some accuracy for doing that, if anything, or throw power.
I think you will. I don't know. And that's definitely gonna be something we need to mention. I mean, at least now that they have these different play styles, at least in this play style, or maybe two play styles, they lose some accuracy or something like that. Definitely got to have that. But I will say this, and then I'll throw it to PX1 until Smitty comes back. The footage, man. I'm telling you right now, you can't tell if the game is good or bad off of these 1-minute clips. There's no way. I mean, because even if you see something that you thought was a flaw, how do you know that? You don't know the play that was called. You don't know formation. You don't know what this guy was doing. Same thing can be said for the good situation. You don't necessarily know what the matchups was, et cetera, et cetera. So all I'm trying to say is stop trying to analyze something until you can play it. I tell y'all this all the time. Don't even take my word for it. Play the game yourself. Most of us live in an area where there's a red box. If you're not comfortable, red box it. Play it. Or if you feel like you can watch somebody play the game, y'all know that we always have the game a little early. And when we stream, I'm going to stream. I know OS will be streaming. He'll probably do another 24-hour stream like he did with the show. Just watch the game as much as you can before you decide to buy. But stop trying to analyze, first of all, a game that's being shown work in progress. I mean, it's pointless. And for anybody out there that's saying that Madden 18 is the same as 17, and get this, y'all. One guy told me that he could tell the graphics hasn't changed at all.
Ha!
Come on, man. Like, you're wasting your time.
From a cell phone video.
Yeah, off a cell phone. But my point is, if you're looking at it like that, you really ain't trying to see what the game is about. Like, because I wouldn't recommend doing that for any game. You know what I mean? So, but all right, man.
One point on that before you skip it over.
Yep.
The video we saw that went around Twitter, that was like, oh my God, this Redskins player is standing back because they ID'd the mic wrong. It was a punt. Like
Yeah.
people were analyzing this play like it was this big time H-back blocking error, and they didn't even look at the football because the cell phone video zoomed in to a quarter of the screen, and as you see the football go up, it's like wobbly. I'm like, what? And one of the QA testers and me both said that ball's a punt. Of course he's standing back. He's in safe block formation. I was like, that's the problem with cell phone videos. They're analyzing stuff that's not even there.
You're going to have plenty of time to see the game. Trust me.
When I first saw it, I saw it on a cell phone too, like from a cell phone. So it was like almost impossible to even see what it was. I was like, what are y'all doing here? I muted that conversation though.
Crazy, man. But all right, guys, I think what I'm going to do here, I want to hit like certain topics and get you guys real quick takes on it. I know Smitty has something to say, but after that, Smitty, start off with how do you feel about target passing, and then we'll go down the line.
All right. Well, no, I just wanted to say real quick, because when you're talking about, you talked about the player movement a little bit, you know, and I mean, the player movement, I see that scrolling through here. The player movement is better. Is it where we truly want it to be at yet? No, but it is better. Players feel a lot more attached to the field. So that I could definitely say for sure. Even when you're playing as a defensive lineman, or if you're playing in the secondary, linebacker, safety, corner, you definitely feel a lot more attached, especially on ball carries and such. Another thing, too, you talked about the tackling a little bit. Now, I've shown Sim a play where I had it, like the gang tackling is beautiful. They did a lot of cleanup work on that, and it feels a lot more weighed down. Like if you got some big beefy dudes trying to take you down, you're gonna go down, but you'll feel it in terms of your control, and you'll see it in terms of how they go down. But in addition to that, though, also when players when you do that hit stick tackle, you can get that hit stick tackle not just if it's a one-on-one. You can have another defender latch on to you. Because I've shown Sim a replay where I made dude fumble off of the hit stick tackle, and he had the defender latched on. Like he was latched onto his upper body, and dude was stood up. It was like he was starting to shed the tackle. But then I had a guy come through with a head of steam, and he got detonated. Like he just got straight folded and fumbled the ball. So it's like, and the hits look a lot more visceral in that regard. But another thing that I wanted to say, though, this goes back to the player movement point real quick, is that you have various controls and mechanics you could use if you were to control that wide receiver. So that goes more along the lines of playing MUT squads, or if you're playing as a player in your what's the name of the mode franchise. Yeah, if you want to play as a player. So otherwise, though, I mean, you know, Sim, we did some work. You know what I mean? Sim did some work on the route, and he created space for himself and chopped him up.
God. That
so it's like, yeah. So, you know, but you got that. And the other thing I want to say, too, is that when it comes to playing the MUT squads, I know, you know, we talking Sim and everything, but I already know Sim dude's going to be playing MUT squads anyway, so we kill that noise. You can control whomever it is you want. So outside of the offensive coordinator, he basically is controlling the quarterback, but outside of the quarterback, you can control whoever it is you want. So we had a run play where we bust Sim open for 60-yard touchdown. I played the pulling guard, and I took that key block. Me and Shop took those key blocks and made that space, and he just shot through behind us and took it all the way to the house. So it's like, you know, it's cool what it is you can do. And I didn't notice, but there are specific mechanics that you can use to use or block, like with the impact blocking and such. So, you know, but I just wanted to touch on those few things there real quick.
Absolutely.
Oh, I'm sorry, the pass control. No, I'm sorry, just on that.
Quick thoughts on that, man.
My thoughts on that are basically, this is what I wanted. I made videos about it and everything. I said I wanted to see passing like NFL fever. I want to see them use that read and lead control kind of deal. So I'm glad that they did it. But it's a heck of a challenge. I can tell you that right now. I threw about like 5-6 picks messing around trying to use that control commonplace, and you can't do that. So what you have to do is you have to pick your poison, like we were saying earlier. I would, like, when I first was doing it, trying to do it all the time, switching receivers after the snap, it's not going to work too well unless they run a real short route or you know what route they're going to run, because you got to switch to the receiver and you got to put the cursor out there and then throw it out there. That's not, but then if the defender is hip to what you're doing and they get the right break on it, they're going to snatch it before you can even try to catch it. So there's that. But what I learned was that I basically was doing it for situations. You know what I'm saying? If there's a particular play that I'm going to try it on, I can lead it. And the cool thing was that I could lead the ball far enough in space where it's like I could lead it to out of bounds. Yeah. If I'm running a route toward the sideline, you know what? If it's not there, I can manually throw the ball away. Pretty much.
At the back of the end zone?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Exactly. Yep. So that whole end zone, and that's a perfect situation. So when you really want to throw that pass and you really want to throw that corner pass or what have you, or throw it to that back end zone line, now you got full control of that to do that. So I like the control, and that's the whole thing, like we said earlier. It's going to create that skill gap, and it's going to be more of a pick your poison thing where you really are going to have to lab it. We unfortunately couldn't really do that at EA Play, but that's something that I already know. We're going to have to spend some quality time in the lab learning that mechanic to apply it a lot more throughout games and such. So that's my feeling on it. I like it.
Absolutely. PX1, before you come on, you guys know I see things pop up in between time and I forget to address them. Real quick address. I've seen this all day. I've seen it in the chat. I've seen it on the video. Guys, the reason why I do interviews with Rex is to get him to answer the questions y'all want the answers to. He specifically said why the game is not being shown, why Longshot was put in, what his plans are for a franchise. He spelled it out. Why are so many of you still asking, why don't they show it? Why? I mean, on the video, mind you, not just these guys are commenting on the video. And I'm like, did you listen to what the man said? Trust me, I don't have to ask him, and I don't need an interview from him. I make him say certain things that other people don't ask him. So y'all are informed. He's verbatim said it was a marketing call. He said specifically they decided to focus on Longshot so there won't be a full-fledged game. I asked him that. Why didn't you show any gameplay? So stop asking me that question. If you can't comprehend that, hearing it from the horse's mouth, I don't know what to tell you. When somebody tells you exactly what they're doing and you still have a question as to why, that's a different problem. And I can't help you with that. I'm just saying, use the resources, listen to these things and take in what the man is telling you. He has did nothing but tell us exactly what Madden has been for the last 3 years. Think about that. So I'm just saying, that's just my quick piece of advice, man. PX1, what was your thoughts on target passing?
Well, before I get to that, there was a couple things that popped up that I wanted to go over. The first thing, physics. I know one of the big things that a lot of people didn't like last year was the tip balls and I call them the volleyball animations.
Yeah, the beach
Those things are gone. I trust me, I threw like 20, 30 interceptions. I didn't see any volleyball animations. So that's gone. The other thing about the weight of players. So I was playing as the Panthers the last game that I played. Captain Munnerlin's one of their starting cornerbacks, and he's like 5'7". He's tiny, and he got run over twice trying to come up and take on the running back by himself. And it made me mad because usually that's an easy interception. A quarterback's gonna make, or a tackle. A quarterback's gonna make the tackle. No. He got run over, and dude kept on trucking. So that was a huge improvement too. Another thing I want to comment on was the wide receiver DB interactions. Maybe we're going to get to that later. I'll leave it if you are.
No, go ahead, man.
So listen, I think it made me think of it whenever
we have a small script. Real quick, PX1, we have a small script, but I want you guys to feel free to cover whatever you want as I come to you, so we can get it all in. So feel free, man.
Mokia, like one of the things he was on all year is wanting to be able to reroute receivers and funnel them into your coverage. And this year, those DB mechanics do that. You press the guy up on the line, and you shade inside. He's going to take away the inside, try to force him outside. If you play outside,
they actually move too.
Try to force them inside. So if you're playing a cover 1 or a cover 3, you can funnel them into the strength of your defense. And that's a big game changer right there and trying to push them where they want to go. Flip side, if you're playing outside shade and they're trying to run a corner route, he's going to try to force them inside, and he's going to keep that outside leverage to take that away. I've tried that many, many times, and they will take that man coverage will take away that corner if you use that outside shade. So that's something you haven't been able to say in a long, long time. So just wanted to touch on those. Target passing, I echo what Smitty said. It's hard. It's going to be hard to master. Competitive guys are going to be really good at it. It's probably mostly designed for them. Guys that put a little bit of time into it will be able to, do the back shoulder fades or lead a receiver towards the sideline, like you said. Oh, steerable rat catches. That's another thing that came up. That hasn't really been talked about. Being able to use a rat catch and steer the guy out of that catch down the sideline and not automatically go out of bounds was a huge, huge add. But yeah, the target passing, being able to use that, it's going to be good. But, honestly, I think maybe like 10, 20% of the people are really going to benefit from it. I mean, throwing it away, I thought, well, that was a great idea, using it for that. Trying to lead somebody on a deep drag or crossing route where, it's right towards the sideline and only they can catch it. That will be nice, but you're not going to use it the whole game. You're not going to use it probably even a quarter of your plays, if that. It's a nice little tool that you can use in certain situations. And, I think it's good. I mean, it just more options that we have to do things. So I think that's great. ID the mic, I know a lot's been going on with that. I thought it was good. I know we talked about that a little bit. That was the only other thing that popped up. Like the name of it, whatever, I don't know whether they changed it or not, but Clint explained it well. He's going to put out a blog. It's going to work. If you're not running play action, it works great. So yeah, I know somebody in there was like, hey, are y'all going to say anything negative about the game? And it's like, I mean, I really didn't have anything negative. I saw a few things that, I saw a wide receiver running down the field, not blocking anybody, kind of something that we saw in 17. I sent it to Clint, told him about it. I saw a couple little things here and there that will probably get cleaned up on a build that's 3 months old, but there really, you're going to have to play that game for a couple weeks to really start finding the flaws. I mean, it looked good from what I saw.
Yeah, really, you up, man?
Okay, target passing. Everybody keeps wanting me to say something negative. I'll say something negative. All right. And I had to send this to RG. I showed it to Clint, showed it to Christian, showed it to Rex. They all told me to send it to RG so he could replicate it. A couple of us, Dubby and all of us were all hanging out in the corner. And Zan. And we were trying target passes on different routes. First off, someone to master is going to be someone like Volt that's going to spend 3 months trying to throw it downfield. Because throwing it downfield is damn near impossible. However, wheel routes, I found a problem. I was able to basically jetpack them. So that was an issue that I found that I immediately, pause the game, show Clint, Christian, Rex, and send it to RG. So that's one good thing that came out of it, because from what I understand, talking to RG after that, that won't be a problem once the game releases. So the other thing that a lot of people are asking about is ID the mic. It actually can be used in the traditional sense. However, the amount of people that are going to know that are very slim to none. Because say I was actually running a lot of iPro and things like that because of the new run blocking system and stuff like that, which is something I never touch. But it was so good that I decided to use it. I was actually IDing the true mic when I actually had Zan bring down a safety, counted from the weak side over. I ID'd him, and the line actually stepped out, and the running back stepped up. But then when I would actually
Yo. Oh, there he is. You got stuck for a minute.
Oh, my bad, bro. All right. Now, what I'm saying, though, is target passing, when they were saying competitive players are the ones that are going to take advantage of it the most, I really don't see that, because you're going to have to know how to use it for every different route versus every different coverage versus every different adjustment. There's so many different things and variables that go into that make it so hard to use that it's going to take away from your time to learn the scheme. And that's why a lot of us are against this previous play thing, because in the past years, everybody's run the same thing. I guarantee you, offensively, you are going to see a lot of different schemes, including actually defensively too, because we tried repeatedly to like repeat the same blitzes. We find a blitz that worked without IDing the mic or you know, just using slide protection. And then as soon as we found an adjustment for it, it was shut down quick. So it's so much more of a chess match than in the past, just from what I can tell. And PX can speak to this next point, because me and him actually tested this together. Banjo coverage works.
I was just going to ask if you'd speak on that.
Works amazing. And if you're in like a cover one and you
explain to them what that is. You know, everybody don't know.
Okay, if you ever see the Seahawks play like a base cover one,
right,
and they're not in their cover three shell, you'll always see Richard Sherman about 3 to 4 yards off the outside wide receiver. Then you'll see someone lined up over the middle, someone to the inside of the tight end. And essentially their assignments are outside in based on the positioning. It works. But if you press, you can pay for that against a formation versus bunch. Just ask PX what happened. Pattern matching worked a lot better. It wasn't just if I ran it, you know, in Madden 17, if you ran pattern match and you were in a tris formation, ran anything besides verticals, you were done. Now I actually seen them use the rule as if if the outside wide receiver were to go up the field 5 yards plus, they would match it. The rules seem to be more fine-tuned into the game. While there may not be more coverages, all the coverages were changed. Show blitz is different for every different formation. There's new linebacker shifts in the game for different formations. It depends on the formation you're in. There's so much new stuff in this game that's going to make everybody have to have a unique play style. And that's huge. And you're going to see a lot of people disappear, I feel like, competitively. There's going to be those who are there every year, but there's going to be those people that just go away. I found it really hard to be very one-dimensional in this game, either pass heavy or run heavy. Deep zones are the only thing that Anthony is still working on.
Yeah, I spoke to him today, actually.
We found a couple things that were issues, but like I can speak on this because Rex actually said it out loud at EA Play. All the other zones are pretty much done. The deep zones are the last things they're working on, and they said they're about 80% done with. But I already seen a major improvement on them.
Oh yeah, safety play.
And the other thing about shading is you can disguise it, but the one problem with that is it won't always work as well as if you press up and then do the shade, and you see them shift over. So it's a risk reward with that. You can't stop the run from dollar. You cannot run a power formation against dollar and stop the run. And I'm talking about labbing this against Dubby, who won 70 some odd $1,000 running dollar. You understand what I'm saying? So, to me, the game played amazing. There were a few little bugs that I seen that I would expect in a beta. I'm in an alpha.
Right.
Like I said, on simulation mode, blocking the backs are a problem right now, which they already know. On competitive mode, there were a few minor issues with the nose tackle interaction with the center. Not so much with 4 down lines, but more so with 3 down with the nose tackle interaction. The nose tackle would get pancaked a lot. I'm not talking about like dollar. I'm talking like base 3-4 type formations.
Mm-hmm.
But that's also something Clint looked at and was like, oh, that's not even nothing I got to even worry about. The screen game, oh, my God.
Oh, man, please explain.
Oh, my God. There's no more me looking at your screenplay and just immediately jumping at.
Oh, yeah.
Like, your recognition has to be so fast. Clint added in jailbreak screens. They fixed bubble screens that you don't, if you throw a bubble screen from shotgun, you're not going to throw it backwards out of bounds. Playbooks, there wasn't a single playbook I used that I didn't feel like was usable on offense. So that's where I think you're going to see the uniqueness come into play. I mean, the under center felt so much better passing the ball. I could even pass the ball out of formations like weak and strong and the formations that you normally wouldn't be able to throw the ball from the past couple of years. Just the presence of there being a pocket. And Azure, to answer your question, we actually did try running back further into the pocket to see what would happen. Because I'm one of the people that want to be able to move in the pocket, and the quarterback movement has made that a possibility along with the way the pocket forms. But the further I drop back into the pocket, the worse my accuracy got.
Yeah.
It was very clear. It was very clear. And that was something, I don't know if that was a game with PX when I first noticed it, but I noticed the pocket playing against PX. Because me and him actually lab sim together. Another thing I noticed too, like, and speaking to Clint, obviously we didn't see the player ratings, but you know who's an elite player and who's not. Now, this is competitive mode where they said there will be no drop picks. There's an asterisk next to that says ratings threshold.
Yeah.
When I used James Harrison, because I did use your Steelers, because I wanted to test Le'Veon Bell and then test the Falcons' Devontae Freeman and feel the difference. You cannot pick off every ball with some bum linebacker, regardless of the mode you're on. You have a higher chance, a much higher chance once they hit that threshold. They haven't made it a locked on threshold. Right now, at the time of the build, I believe it was 70. From what Clint said. But he said they're still adjusting all those thresholds and things like that. Sim and competitive, the biggest difference I really seen was penalties and some of like the some of the inaccurate type passes, those type of things. There wasn't a big difference as far as the way the game felt, if you understand what I mean. The game feels great across both modes, which is really good. And I agree with Millennium when he said that the fact that they're able to tune both is completely game changing. And that's why I know Zulu wanted to speak on this too. The previous play thing needs to go in that one mode. Like, I don't understand why people are getting so outraged. RG's actually literally tweeted out it would be gone in SCR, but still there in seasons, CFM, and all this, that, and the third. So if you're getting mad about a ladder to see who the best player is, when I can literally visually see all 22 players on the field, I should have the formation recognition to figure that out. That's a skill gap. We've been begging for a skill gap. Both sides, from what I know, have been begging for a skill gap. Now we get a skill gap, and people are wanting to keep the things that keep the skill gap down out of the game. I don't understand that. Also, they added a lot of new things for novices, like in the UI, like where to cover and things like that. Your controller would actually, it wasn't just the lines that some of y'all seen on this cell phone footage. Your controller would vibrate if you left your assignment. It would tell you. And in the coaching adjustments, I mean, bringing in some of the NCAA type things and refining it for Madden and adding more, and the possibilities are endless with what they can do with that. It's just it's hard to say bad things about this game at this point.
Yeah, that's the crazy thing, right?
And also, I did not see one suction tackle. I did not see one suction interception. No warps. I didn't see any of that. I also noticed that the quarterback scrambling out. If you would pay if you crashed your line down towards the inside against a quarterback that was mobile that could get outside the pocket, because the right tackle would have the leverage to push him inside to turn it. You would pay for that. So this all comes into strategy, man. Like it's crazy. I don't want to keep going on for too long, but like I said, Crossman's gone. You're not going to be able to use it 3 different routes. You cannot run up the field with a seam and jump back down on a drag. It's not happening. Problem couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. W couldn't do it. Zan couldn't do it. It's not happening. It's just not happening. So I'll go ahead and pass it on, man. Like I said, those new run plays and the new blocking completely changed the game. It is so crazy.
New plays, man. The new playbooks. I definitely saw them in the teams I used. Y'all gonna enjoy that. You definitely
and got the goal. No, the quarterback does not hesitate. You have your full speed right from the beginning.
Yep. And something real quick I just wanted to read, man. I told a guy here on Twitter, he said he was actually there. 2 quick things I'll address, then I'll throw it to Zulu. I just want to hear your thoughts on, what target passing would mean to you. But he said, he's watching the stream now. He says in regards to throw power, it matters. He ran verts with Brady, threw it late, and he underthrew it. I could definitely say that as well. I was doing that a lot with Big Ben. So there was a couple things I was trying. I'm not as hardcore with labbing like my guy Relly. And this is the reason why we all need to be in this together. We all play the game differently to find the same problems that none of us want. Another thing I wanted to point out, man, not picking on you, but it's a guy here in the chat that keeps bringing up a flaw. I didn't see it, but he says it's a flaw and some leaked footage. Here's the thing. When did we get to the point where everyone thinks a game is perfect?
I saw that video.
Let me say, he's talking about that Tay the God, whatever that.
Yeah, I saw all 4 of the videos he put up.
Yeah, I'm sorry. No, I just want to say real quick because I was about to chime in on that real fast. Look, first he's playing it on competitive mode. Number 2, he's playing it on an early build of the game. Number 3, we're talking about playing the game mainly in sim, even though competitive this counts too. But my thing is, what's the frequency of it? That's the number one thing. What's the frequency of the issue happening? Because it is an imperfect product. That's just like saying you got a car and you go get gas. How many times you got to get gas a year? Just one time and that's it? No, you're gonna have to do it more than once. So that's why I take that with a grain of salt, man. Like I'm not putting that much weight on somebody whiffing on a play. Plus, what happens when you watch the NFL this year and you see somebody in real life whiff on a block? Then what are you gonna say? So, but go ahead, Relly. Go ahead, man.
That's the whole thing, man. Real quick, Relly, and then we got to get to Zulu. But that's the whole thing.
It's gonna be real quick. The flaw that was pointed out was a blocking flaw, which wasn't actually a flaw, which is something I actually just described. It was when Cam Newton was rolling out to the right, the person had crashed the line either to the left or to the inside. The right tackle turned him inside, and Cam Newton was able to get around. He said in his video that he would have wanted to see the defensive end shed that and get on the Cam Newton. That's not how it works. He played inside and attacked the B gap. How are you going to attack the B gap and then expect him to go all the way to the C gap and catch a quarterback that's completely mobile? Like, that's not something that's in the game. If that was in the game, that's something that everybody on this panel right now would be upset about. Everybody on this panel would be like, this needs to be fixed right now. So
it's crazy, man.
Wait, you're telling me that cell phone footage was overanalyzed and something was wrong with one play and someone didn't analyze it right? No, I don't believe you, Relic.
No, Millennium. I don't know if you saw it, but I know
I saw it. I know exactly.
No, I'm talking about what I tweeted today when I said I need to stop getting baited into these stupid conversations.
I saw it.
Yeah.
I saw it, dude. Yeah, that's one of the problems here. Is that, like, again, I'll make it quick. I know we have to get into Zor, and I apologize, though. Like,
you good?
The cell phone footage, guys. I get that you want gameplay footage, but it's like me trying to give you the alphabet starting with B and C. Like, you don't get a full picture.
You can't, man.
Like you don't get that. You don't get to see what we saw. A lot of us sat down on these consoles. Dude, Relly said it. I saw Dubby didn't leave that corner of that place at all. He was trying to stay there after hours, and that dude is scouting constantly. Zan was on a console, unless he was giving feedback on a console constantly. Stiff barely moved. Like, these guys continually saw that.
We were all standing right next to each other, bro.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone was either outside or inside on a console. Like, that's what we were doing. That's what we were supposed to be there doing. We weren't there on vacation. Like, we were there to give feedback.
I was on vacation. I don't know what y'all.
I know how hard you were on vacation on the flight back.
Very short memories. Because, I mean, if you think about it, especially from the time of Smitty, myself, and Sim, you couldn't go 3 plays in Madden without pointing out a huge flaw. So for people to see cell phone footage and, pick on one thing that they saw that wasn't really a flaw, to me, it's a testament to what Clint and Rex have done. Not saying that it's perfect, because I always say there's no perfect people. There'll never be a perfect game. But you couldn't go. It was a video that I tweeted out earlier today of how we used to break down footage of just old Maddens. You couldn't go 2 plays without finding something instantly.
Yeah.
So,
very true, man. But coming to you first, Zulu, and then skipping. Well, actually, we got to go back to OS after Zulu and then back to Azure. Real quick again, man, since I haven't had the opportunity to play it, what does target passing mean to you? Does this sound like something that you wanted, or does it sound like it is exactly what you expect? Yo, Zulu.
Zulu.
Mute.
Yeah,
We lost him. OS, you can go ahead and pick up from there.
Hey, you muted him, Sam.
Yeah, go ahead real quick. Yeah, I can't unmute him, which, again, you too.
Yeah, now we can.
There we go.
Oh, okay.
I don't know why I can't unmute you guys. That's so stupid.
Funny.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
Yeah, I was saying that I'm piggybacking off of something Azure said earlier, which is that, a lot of Madden gamers are skeptical because, the moment we left the PS2 generation, we saw a prior regime catering the game to people who didn't play very well, because they always felt like the gamer who never played Madden was more important than the gamers who were currently playing Madden. They didn't want to develop the audience. They thought that they could grow their audience based on people who were playing shooters, or people who were playing NBA 2K, or people who were playing RPGs or something. And so I understand his skepticism, particularly because I like Sim, what you were saying earlier, I'm that competitive Sim baller. Like, I'm that dude that's playing Sim style, but I want to whoop you. And I want to whoop you based on football concepts.
Right.
So I think that one of the things, and I think Rex is being pretty slick on this, but and see, Madden Universe, open your ears. I think what's going to happen is that the tourney and the Sim players are going to merge. I think it's going to accomplish the thing. He's going to backdoor the thing that he couldn't get through the front door. That the Sim player is going to be increasingly competitive, and the 30 player is going to be, hey man, can we have just a few more variables? Like, the third string linebacker or the second string linebacker is playing a little too well. There need to be just a tad more variance. I think that we're going to begin to merge, and you'll see a great distancing between arcade mode and the other two modes. Relative to target passing, going back to the frustrated elite gamers, in my community, there's big talk about who's top 5. And what they mean by that is who are the top 5 cats in our community across leagues. Like, we want to know who are the baddest dudes. And I think what target passing is going to do, it's going to show the guys with the greatest amount of proficiency. Because on the other end of it is, and this goes to Azure's point, well, how will defenses react? Right? So you got this chess game, this balance. And I think what target passing does, it doesn't just show who can read coverage. It shows the guys who know the coverage, like we used to have a guy by the name of Peyton Manning, right? It shows the guys who can dissect the coverage before they even snap the ball, and then they're dissecting the coverage and anticipating the throw the moment they snap the ball. And if you're a two-dimensional Madden gamer, then you're going to feel helpless. You're going to be like, well, wait a minute, what do I do? And it's going to challenge you. It's going to force you. It's going to compel you to get better. And I think that the brilliance of target passing is this is something Rex can build upon in Madden 19, Madden 20. Like, we can see Rex providing, building blocks for future versions of Madden without feeling like he's got to start all over again. Because up until Madden 17, it felt like Madden was always having to tear something down in order to build the game back up. And what target passing allows him to do is provide some nuance to something that we usually take for granted. We take for granted that we can throw seam routes. We take for granted we can throw out routes. We take for granted that, we can hit posts. And as the defense begins to tighten, you say, oh, no. Target passing is difficult. So not only do you need to be able to read the coverage, you need to be able to manipulate the coverage. You need to be able to anticipate the strengths of your receivers. And so I think if nothing else, it has the potential to grow the Madden audience, because if nothing else, guys always want to whoop somebody else. And if this is the way to allow people to get better, I think this is a real opportunity for him to grow the audience.
Absolutely, man. OS, what were your thoughts, man, on target passing? Your hands-on time.
So for me, I mean, target passing is going to be incredibly tough for most people. But I agree with Relic. I mean, like, and Zan and I talked about this too. Like, it's going to be a guy like Volt that gets it. Somebody that puts in time looking for that competitive advantage. I think there's going to be some people using it extremely creatively. I think you're going to start seeing guys, like I tried a flanker screen on it and actually pulled the target inside and took that flanker screen that normally goes to the outside and brought it back in, I almost made a mid screen out of it. So, like, I like the opportunities. I know Swami was using it and actually split a running back out wide against a low coverage safety and was able to pull the guy inside. I think it was Deion Lewis, and was able to use him with target passing to beat the safety, not just deep, but he threw it inside. I saw in the chat, and I agree with this. I think fades and back shoulders are going to be extremely rewarding with target lock passing. It's not going to be easy, but if you can figure it out, especially back shoulders, which is something we've been asking for a long time, being able to throw a consistent back shoulder pass, I think that's going to be even better. It's going to be tough. Like I said, you're not going to walk into this game and start target lock passing and use it right off the bat. It's just not going to happen. So I'm glad that it's a skill gap. Again, it's another, we talked about skill gap. This is the first real mechanic that has introduced skill gap into gameplay in Madden in a very long time. Like jukes, everyone can use jukes. Everyone, they're all timing, but everyone knows jukes have been in Madden forever. Like run moves, aggressive catch, like all those things were overpowered at one point in Madden. They're all balanced now. Now you're going to put target lock in and give guys who really put in the time to play the game. And let me tell you something. The one thing that opened my eyes, again, coming from the Sim franchise background, sitting next to competitive gamers and interacting with them all weekend, opened my freaking eyes. Like, I have so much more respect for these guys now than I ever did. And I hope they highlight some of the things these guys do on their Twitch streams and stuff to really show off. Like this target lock passing, I want to see when these guys are messing with it. Like I want them to interview how they use it and how long it took them to get it. I talked to one guy this weekend and said he plays Madden 40 to 45 hours a week to be competitive. He's got a full-time job and like family. Like I don't think a lot of people understand that. And this target lock passing is going to be one of those things that shows that work.
Absolutely, man. And just want to remind you guys, start sending your questions. We won't be able to get to them all. I see one that I can answer fairly quickly. Will you still be able to see previous play? We actually were discussing that here a moment ago. Yes, right now you can. I think it's being discussed whether or not that will be an option on all modes or made specific to one mode or what have you. But right now you can. I'm going to go to Azure again, guys. Remember,
RG actually said it's being taken out of salary cap. He tweeted it this morning. That's what started the whole craziness.
Well, there you go. I am in favor of it not being there. You know, I rather, as a sim guy, and you see the competitive guys kind of share the same sentiment, I'd rather have to focus on what you're doing. I actually do that now, to be honest with you. I rarely look at the previous play in our league. I just try to figure out what is he doing based on formation. So I would love for it to be gone. I don't really use it anyway, so whatever. But we're not going to be able to get to every question, obviously, on a few of these. And the way we're going to do it so we can we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 of us here. Each question I ask, the next man will answer it until we're done. All right, real quick, Azure, man, what are your – I already know. I don't even know why I'm asking you this question. How you feel about target passing. We've been beating the drum on that.
Yeah, man, something that we've wanted in the game. I don't know. Probably since I've met Smitty, we've been talking about throwing high bullets.
Mm-hmm.
So if we can, kind of do that and, like has been said, separate, create a skill gap, I'm all for it. I'm at the point now. I'm not worrying, anticipating what's going to happen when it hits the fan and people realize that they need to play on arcade. Or,
I got to say something. I got to say something to piggyback off that. Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead, AZ.
But, okay. And I'm just wondering how people are going to react to it and what's going to be the reaction from EA. Because last year, I felt that the game was going in that direction. And, people were having a hard time with it. And then they nerfed it. So now we have the appearance of arcade simulation and competitive. But what happens when those people say, oh, I want to play online, and online is competitive only? Or is EA going to stand and stick their feet in the sand and say, get better? Because, that's what it's going to take. You have to bring your users along. What tools are in the game to help them get better as well? Of course, they're probably going to try to push it to the creators of ebooks and tips and point them in that direction. But we have to get people thinking in football terms and not just Madden terms. So I'm glad, it's going in this direction, but I just want to know what happens when it hits the fan. And, people are upset. People are upset about how the game is.
Hey, real quick, Azor, when you say point to ebook makers and all that in the third, I have to say there is like 3 or 4 of our sites that actually do teach football. I'm just saying in general. I'm not, because I know.
No, I got what you said. I get you. I just wanted to make sure the people watching knew.
No, you good. No, I'm saying like in terms of people who, how people are trying to, I found this, let me put it on YouTube. But I think the people that EA has connections with are all legit football minds. So I'm not really saying it like that.
Yeah, man. And
I got you. My bad, bro. I just wanted to make sure we was good on that.
Oh no, you good.
Before we roll, well, actually, we can roll out with the questions. But Smitty, before you answer the first question, go ahead and comment on what you wanted to comment on in regards to what Azure said. And the first question, Someone is asking, did we notice any CPU scrambling? Did you see them scramble, or did you see them just stand there and take the sack like it seems like they do a lot in 17?
Well, the first thing, I'll answer the question first. No, I didn't see that. The CPU played it smart. I played basically simulation. All I did was play simulation setting, and I played on All Pro and All Madden. And the quarterback would not just, they wouldn't take the sack unless like there was just no option. Like sometimes there would be no option available. They'll get it out of there, or they might get hit as they throw. But if it's not there, they were very quick to get it out, to, you know, throw it away. I didn't see anybody scramble necessarily because of the defensive front that I had. So now, will they scramble? That's another thing. But I will say that the quarterback did play smart. So the next thing I will say is, going off of what AZ was saying, and this is, you know, point about the whole simulation setting being in there. And this was, we had some guys that are in the Sim Standard League, basically, that were at EA Play, and they were waiting in line for Madden to go up and play. And they had saw somebody in line was complaining to Rex about they were having a hard time during the game and stuff like that. They were getting hit with penalties. They were getting sacked and things like that. And they were saying, you know, they were complaining as if, Rex, what you going to do about it? They all looked at each other and looked at the individual and said, well, take it off of simulation and put it on arcade. Like you'll say, like, so that right there is like a big time testament to me. Now, of course, Rex is an employee at EA. He doesn't run EA. So, you know, if Suit says something, that's one thing. But that individual that says, well, I want to play on simulation, they have to step their game up. And that goes back to my point that I had said before. People have to step up step up as far as their IQ, but also as a community, step up and be accounted for when it comes to how our setting gets updated, okay, and tweaked and modified. See, we can't have stuff like this cat that's out here with this clip running around saying, oh, they had bad blocking, and then you got guys like Gettin and all that don't even understand football concepts going crazy. We need to have people that have the mindset, that have the understanding to help spread that awareness and let people know, like, this is how things work. This is how it's done in football. And then see how it's done in Madden and let it be articulated the right way. That's what has to happen. So we can't be wilding out, flying off the handle with this stuff, because now, guess what? When they tune the game going forward, it's separated. So we're not, so that's why, like what Millennium has said, this is a big deal. Like, this is a really big deal. We have our setting. So don't sleep on it and be like, oh, well, whatever. Like, no, take it seriously. And if you see things that are pertaining to football happening and you see dudes that are saying otherwise, school them. Show them some stuff. Let them know, you know, like, yo, this is how it works. Actually, you got it wrong because according to football, this is how it works. Now, if it's a video game issue in that setting, then let it be known. But none of this, you know, slew-footing and lollygagging on it. Like, call it out according to football, because that's what we always argue about all up and down the Twitter walls and everything. So now we got the setting. Let's make sure it's took care of the right way. So I'll go ahead and throw it on to you, Sim.
Yep, and perfect. This question lands on PX1 because this is definitely pertaining to CFM. Guy wants to know, what feature do you want most in CFM? And I know it's going to be tough to answer it because obviously we already know what's coming. You know, Rex said it. So I don't know if he's saying what feature did you want the most that's not there, or just in general. But however you perceive that question, go ahead and answer that one.
All right. I'll start that. I got two other things I want to bring up.
That's all right. Go ahead.
What I want to see the most, I want to see more commissioner tools. I want to be able to throw out results. I want to be able to like turn things like ball hawk and heat seeker and stuff like that off league wide. That would probably be my number one thing. But I also want custom draft classes. I want the community to be able to create draft classes and put them in the game. Because I know Azure did it, I did it, a lot of other guys, like we edited draft classes after the draft.
And it was awesome.
Well, it was cool, but it was a pain too.
Oh yeah, it was a pain, but it was
a lot of time doing that. So, but those are the things I would want most. So one thing that I was thinking of that I wanted to point out, I wanted to see what everybody else that played it, if you guys even looked at it. One thing I did not like at all was QB sneaks. I don't know if you guys had a chance to look at that at all.
No,
I hated it. They changed it because Clint said that everybody said it was overpowered. They
don't work at all.
Huh?
They don't work at all.
Well, it's a dice roll. He said they made it a dice roll, and basically, if you lose the dice roll, you kind of just flop on the ground like a fish. Wow. Yeah, it's. I mean, now again, we're 3 months away from release. They might tune it, but that's the way that works. I don't know if you guys use it much. I don't like that. I'd rather have it last year when it's overpowered.
I showed Clint a replay, and it was ugly. And he said that they were going to work on what I showed him.
Okay.
And essentially, it was that flopping around like a fish.
Right. It looks terrible. I mean, it just flop. I mean, I call it like a dead fish thing. But so for those of you that wanted us to point out something we didn't like, that was it. I had something else, but I got excited and now I forgot what it was.
All right. Next question. Really, guy wants to know: was the pocket a consistent U? Or in general, was it a good pocket when attempting to pass?
A consistent U shape, not necessarily a U shape, but like one of the formations that I ran a lot just because it was so unique and new to the game. All of you who have seen the Saints playbook, the old ace pair chief formation, it's called something different in it, but it had like 2 double S routes coming to the sidelines with a bench concept underneath. And those of you in the chat, it's not as glitchy as it sounds, trust me. But like I was working on passing out of that formation, and you would see based on how the line play played out, the pocket would change based on that. So you'd have to step up into the left, up into the right. There were times that the hole would open up that you could scramble through. And if you didn't use we didn't talk about that. The left bumper, right bumper, to reach out and grab a quarterback or a running back.
That's my feature.
If you didn't click on and use that, you could take off up the field. You weren't getting chased down by a 62 speed defensive tackle. Theoretically 62 speed. I don't know exactly what speed they were, but they were definitely slower than a Cam Newton. And the other thing we didn't talk about was wide receiver splits. Anthony did an amazing job with that, man. And like, I don't know if people are really gonna, like, people who don't know football are really gonna appreciate how big of a difference that makes. But yeah, I mean, as far as a consistent U shape, no. I mean, I don't even think that's a realistic expectation.
Honestly, man, there's no pocket in the NFL that's a U all the time. That has been one of the biggest arguments that I've had with like-minded sim guys. We constantly, I say some, but I always say we because we're a collective. We always talk about is the pocket a U shape. Look at NFL on Sunday. The pocket does not form the same every time.
Nope.
So exactly. I don't get that. I just don't get that. If you should be asking, does the pocket move? Does a quarterback have to step up? Can he get pushed in his face? Can he evade to the left? Can he evade to that should be the question.
The one other thing I wanted to say about that too is I noticed a significant difference between how you were able to move in the pocket based on the quarterback. You also see different throw releases and throw points and speeds of the release based on the quarterback, which was also very nice to see. So it's going to make people make some real serious decisions.
Yeah, it makes your quarterback matter.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
I remember what I was going to say now. There was somebody asked about will a quarterback roll out of the pocket, and I saw this when I was down at EA playing against the CPU. And I don't remember what quarterback it was, but he was getting pressure. He rolls out of the pocket to his non-throwing shoulder, sets up behind the line of scrimmage outside the pocket, sits there, looks downfield, nobody's open, and throws the ball away. So now, could he have ran for a couple of yards? Maybe. But that was something that you rarely see in this game. The fact that he stopped and said, okay, I'm out of the pocket. I got room. Let me look downfield. And says, all right, I got nothing open. Somebody's coming. Let me throw it away. I thought that was great. One thing I wanted to ask Relly, with the splits now where the wide receivers are taking up more of the field, the concern that comes to my mind, everybody kind of thought that it was too easy to run out of spread sets the way it was. With the receivers being even further out and creating even more spread, do you worry at all that it's just
I don't see that as a problem. I don't see that as a problem because I ran some spread stuff, and it's actually harder to run from shotgun this year. You have to be very patient. Like, even remember the run that you had against me, because we didn't bring up this animation either. Everybody remembers those runs this year where you'd run into a lineman's back and you get some weird spin animation and all that.
Oh,
Not this year. They kind of stop at stutter step and you can go back and cut through a hole. PX actually did that to me on sim mode and broke like an 80-yard run because it was something I would never expect to have to account for that gap once he's going that way in previous Maddens. And it looked amazing. We watched the replay like 6 times. Like, it looked amazing. So yeah, I mean, I don't see it as being a problem, no.
For anybody that doesn't know what he's talking about, basically the run was designed to go, I think, either the B or the C gap, and it was in the coverage push, or the pressure pushed it up and collapsed the pocket. So I cut back inside of the A gap, and I was able to go up the middle where nobody was and be gone. And that's one of those situations where before you cut too far, you're going to run into the back of your line. But this time I was able to perfectly hit that hole and go up the middle.
Yeah, it was actually, we were testing 26 duo.
Yeah.
And so he was supposed, and for those of you who don't know, in simple terms, 26 duo, without going into the blocking assignments, is essentially power O without the pulling guard, and a lot more detailed as far as the blocking assignments go. But he was trying to cut it outside. My lineman got enough push to push his guard into the backfield. He ran into his guard. His running back stuck his arm out, stutter step, and he was able to make a decision which direction to go from that point. Now, at that point, I didn't know about the LB-RB mechanic, or this wouldn't have happened. He's able to go 90, 80, whatever yards up the field through a big gap in the middle of the field, which in the past I would have never ran back to, which is something I know I have to account for now. And patience is very, very big in the run game now. So as far as the wide receiver splits and running from spread, unless you're running it's all formation based. Matchups mean so much more. It all means a lot more. Everybody has to be more multiple this year.
Were you guys able to run read options at all? Because that's one thing I tried a little bit with Cam. I wasn't able to.
I tried the veer and I tried the regular read option. The veer was really hard to read, which it was kind of hard to read this year as well. And the read option, I only got them to bite on the quarterback once, but it's something you have to make a decision on really quick.
All right, guys, real quick, as we're winding down, I'm gonna skip to everybody who had hands on, so obviously, Zul and Zulu, if y'all want to chime in, definitely feel free. But let's try to run through the questions real quick to get as many as possible. I'll jump to OS. The next question was, can the defense see your target reticle, as far as your target passive? Can your opponent see that if it's not couch play?
The wrong person to ask because I played against the computer.
I don't know if we know that answer.
Right.
Oh, you can answer that? Whoever can answer that, knock it out.
I wouldn't think so. I mean, I think it would be like anything else.
No, you can't.
Okay, good.
Short answer, no, you can't.
Short answer. We love it. I'll ask one of you two guys, and I'm sure really test this out. But any of you guys, did you test out nickel blitz? I already know the answer, but did you, and how was it?
I'll tell you exactly how it works with ID to Mike. This is with no slide protection, just blocking a running back, okay? It works exactly the same if you do nothing. Because it's a regular overload blitz, it's supposed to come in with the way it's set up. However, if you use just ID to Mike, nothing else, what's going to happen is your left tackle is going to kick out, pick up the nickel blitzer. Defensive end is going to come through, running back cuts him, there you go. Once again, ratings matter. If you have a better pass blocking running back, he is going to be better in pass blocking. And that's not just in sim, that's in competitive as well.
Yep. Smitty, I'm sure you can answer this one. How are the ball carrier moves?
Ball carrier moves. Well, I mean, I didn't have a sheet or anything like that to guide me through if there was anything new, but it was on point. You know what I'm saying? From what I got to experiment with, it seemed a lot more. No. Can't get my glasses. But no, it seemed a lot more positional related as far as what, like, it's not. I didn't see it where, unless the guy was truly out of position, that's where you'll see him go down and slip and fall. But it wasn't. I didn't see any instances where a guy has a direct line on me, and all of a sudden he just slips off to the side and falls down because I did a juke move. It was very position relative as far as when I got tackled, how I got tackled, or how I got hit. Doing spins, doing jukes, things like that. So if they just clip my leg, then I'm going down by my leg. If I'm spinning halfway and I don't get away cleanly, then I'll go down at that point of impact. So it is very positional relative in terms of how the juke moves play out this year, from what I experienced. So,
not only that, Smitty, but I even asked directly Clint and Rex both about this because I was noticing it. Each move is based on the ratings of the players.
Okay.
Each move is based on the ratings of the players. Certain players will be a lot better at spin moves. Certain players will be a lot better at juke moves. Certain players will be a lot better at trucking. Ratings are very, very heavily weighted as far as how well those moves work, dependent on the running back, and that's across all modes, except arcade. Apparently, arcade is just a free for all. I didn't even.
If any of y'all watching is playing on arcade, hey, that's all I'm gonna say. I guess I'll answer one real quick, and then I got a few more for y'all. I get this question all the time. So you who asked this question, you're not alone. But my counter to the question is, why? People always ask, is the broadcast camera playable? This is two-part for me. First of all, that's an opinion because some people play on it now. Second, this is just me. This is my opinion. This is not the gospel. Why would you want to play a football game sideways? Like, you can't clearly see everything that way, in my opinion, even if it was pushed out. I need to see. Listen, I play football. I played in the backfield, and I played strong safety. When I run the ball, you know, me and Azure pride ourselves on running the ball, and we're pretty good at it when we get it going. You know why I can run the ball so well? Because I'm viewing it as if I was on the field. I don't believe I would be able to do it the same way if I'm looking at it horizontally. I need help understanding why you want to play in that camera. I just don't get it. I'm sorry, it's just my opinion. I don't think a football game would play out as well. Maybe basketball, I can see that court is a little smaller, but football, how you gonna see your man on the fly route? There's no way they can pull a screen out that far to see somebody 60 yards downfield. If they do that, then the men are gonna look this big. I don't understand that one. So, can answering your question, was it playable? I don't know. It'll never be playable for me because I just don't prefer to play football that way. Leading to the next question, I'll throw it to you, PX1. Speaking of scale, my man DSK wants to know, did we notice any differences in the scale of the field and the players? Like, I know a lot of us have mentioned throughout the years that they're not scaled correctly. How did you feel about what you saw in terms of, Madden 18?
I didn't notice any difference. I know Clint said over and over again that it's scaled properly. So I mean, the splits being wider, I mean, you could tell. I don't know if that's going to make it feel wider. Maybe that was part of it. The receivers felt too close. But Clint said over and over that the field scaled properly. So I didn't notice anything specific with that.
Yeah, I didn't really either. So I don't think anything was changed there. Relly, real quick, Relly or Smitty or OS, any of you guys who can answer this. CPU clock management and play calling.
I can't answer CPU stuff.
Yep, that's what I figured. OS or Smitty?
I played 15-minute quarters, seemed okay, but again, I played like in 5 hours. I think I played 4 full games. You can't say it on that. You simply can't. I didn't notice anything bad, but that's too small sample size.
Too small of a sample size.
Yeah,
Hey, real quick, before
small
you go to another question, one of y'all should speak on sideline interactions.
Oh yeah,
because no one's
was definitely gonna do that.
Yep, good, Sim.
So I'll let myself, Smitty, and OS speak on it, and then let me prep y'all for the next question, which might be interesting. This might carry us out through the night. We have to talk about Longshot. All of us have to give our thoughts on it. I'll go first, and then we'll go down the line. So that will include Zulu and Azure. Sideline interactions, to me, look pretty good. To be fair, I didn't see many of them because I just wasn't that many opportunities. I did see one, though, where we actually chased Andrew Luck out of the pocket. Running. He had to throw the ball away. We hit him. He fell down. One of my players on the sideline actually bent down, picked him up under his shoulder pads, lifted him up, gave him a pat. He ran back off the field. The graphics looked better. The players didn't look, as robotic, like they've looked in the past. And in 17, they did look a little more defined. I will be fair and say I didn't pay a whole lot of attention to it, only when I had the interaction. So I did see that. To add another small piece to it, player models. You're going to notice that immediately. The player models look a lot different as far as the body scaling on each type of player. But I'll throw it to you, Smitty, then you can throw it to OS.
Before you do the sideline interactions, I actually had a time where I was hit into a player on the sideline, knocked over the player on the sideline.
Oh, wow. See? There you have
it. So and that's not something that I was really looking for. I was looking at gameplay, like just straight up gameplay and how things work. But I noticed that very easily. So
yeah, that's pretty good.
Really, really interactive.
What are your thoughts, Smitty? Smitty may have stepped away. PX1, you can chime in on that, and then OS.
I did not see anything. I didn't really notice anything, but I skipped through cutscenes and stuff like that too. So I was just trying to get as much gameplay in as I could.
Pretty much, yep. Oh, we forgot to even talk about the intros and stuff, but we'll get to that. OS, what were your thoughts, man? Did you have any experiences with the sidelines?
Yeah, interactions with the sidelines are better. I definitely saw player interaction. Swami actually pulled me aside and showed me that there was a tackle on the sideline. A coach actually picked up the player that got tackled. So there was an actual coach picking him up, and it wasn't like a cutscene. It was organic, like interactive, like that. I will say that players on the sidelines do not have names on the back of their jerseys. For people looking for that, it's not there in the build we have. I would doubt that it's there by the time it comes out. But there is definitive interaction with people that go on the sidelines. So, and cameramen too. Cameramen move out of the way and stuff.
It's the answer in short is not Living Worlds that we saw on Madden 25's trailer. Not the second one. That first one when RG3 comes to the line, that CG, it ain't nothing like that. So don't get your hopes up. But I don't know. Maybe they will address that soon when they, like Rex alluded to, they didn't get to the dynamic. They didn't get to weather as much as they would want to, but it's coming. Again, I keep telling y'all, listen to Rex. When he talks like that, it's coming in the near future. I would hope that along with that would be more, because I asked him about home field advantage and all of that. I would expect all of that would be in one swell swoop, because he kind of said it in the interview. They do graphics and presentation, gameplay, modes. They have all of these pockets, and then they go through the priority list, et cetera, et cetera. And like he said about sidelines, he said this year it actually showed up in the priority list. We were able to get some of that in. I'm going to start off. Well, actually, let me come to Smitty, get his thoughts, and then I'll kick it off with Longshot, and we'll go through that real quick. And that may be close to all we have for tonight. But Smitty, we wanted to get your thoughts, man, on the sideline interactions. Did you experience anything while you were there?
Didn't see much of that going on. The only thing that I seen was where an opposing team member fell out of bounds making a play on the sideline. Like I had tackled him on the sideline, and he one of my guys helped him up.
Yeah, that's how I had it. Yeah.
That's the only thing I had saw, so I can't really elaborate on that. So
me neither, man. I think you guys got a consensus from all of us. We all either saw the interaction between player and opposite team and then player and coach. So, and again, how often, even in the real NFL, it's not like every play. So we didn't really see it, but it's in there. So maybe it's something that we can all test out once we have the game. Well, let me get my thoughts on Longshot, and we'll go down the list. First of all, again, I'm going to refer back, and I'm not self-promoting, guys. Y'all know I don't do that. You got to go back and listen to the interview. Rex explained where Longshot came from. So I just don't understand all of the questions after the question is answered. I don't get that. I'm sorry. If I'm picking on you, it is what it is. I don't understand that. He explained exactly why it came in. The most important thing that he said that you guys are missing, he said, the community will determine its future. He specifically said that. The community will determine, because everyone is saying, why would they do that? Everybody wants my career, da, da, da. He specifically said, well, we knew everybody was doing that, and we decided to go a different route, and we know it's a risk. Said right there, we know it's a risk, but we want to see how people receive it. If it's received well and people want us to continue, we will. If they don't, they want us to use those assets from that to go somewhere else, that's what we'll do. I mean, you can't answer it no clearer than that. Now, just to give my thoughts on it, I'm going to tell you right now, when I heard about it in February, I was pissed to the max. Let me tell you why I was pissed. Because I'm a CFM guy. And I said, whoa. You doing what now? And when I saw it, I said, okay, it's cute, but I don't like it. And I don't like it because, and I'm going to give you a progression of my feelings for it. I didn't like it because, first of all, it's a telltale type of game. It's a linear story. So I didn't like the fact that I couldn't at least mimic what the journey was. I can't really play all of the games like Alex Hunter, right? Even if it's not going to be a my player type of thing. That was my pet peeve with it. Once I saw what it was, my eyebrows perked up a little bit. I was like, oh, okay, interesting. Still won't happy about it because you got to understand, this is when I was introduced to the plan. Because again, like we tell y'all, we know plans in the future, right? But there are things that are sprinkled in that we know nothing about. We didn't know anything about that last year. A lot of the stuff that you guys are seeing now, we knew was coming. We ain't know nothing about no story mode. Rex told y'all how it happened. Yes, it's been in production for a few years, but basically, what did he say? It was a marketing call. FIFA is really the reason why it's in Madden right now. The journey did well. Those guys who cut the checks was like, oh, really? That's how much we make? Put that in Madden right now. That's how it goes down, whether y'all want to believe it or not. And the man tells you out of his own mouth. So I wasn't happy with that. It wasn't the devs. I just was like, dang, man, why would you do that before building CFM? Now, let me clear something up real quick before I throw it to Smitty. Some people got mad when they heard Rex say that CFM was in a good spot, which y'all really didn't understand what he was trying to say. What he was saying was it was from the marketing and the PR team's perspective that, oh, numbers are up in CFM. Okay, we can afford to do other things. That's how business works, folks. Again, this is a business. We know we love to play the game we wanted to play and how we want to play it, but it's a money-making business. They decided CFM is on a rise. I guess we can wait on, until next year or the year after. They decided to go with Longshot. So I was pissed about that. Now, as it progressed, I saw what it really was about. I respected the two guys who came up with it. Shout outs to Mike Young and Brian Murray. And I was like, you know what? I didn't like it, but it's pretty cool, man. I think when you guys actually see it and go through it, you're going to be very impressed with what they're building, the story. It's not like anything else you've seen in a sports title. Trust me. It's crazy. And then, of course, you got the visual fidelity from Frostbite and all of that. But I want you to view it like this. You're going to have little mini games and things like that you'll be able to play. It's interactive, but it's not a player. It's not a my player. It's not the journey. You know, it's a linear story, but it is very good. It's almost like getting a movie along with your Madden purchase. Look at it like that and listen to what Rex said. This is the last thing I'll say, then I'll throw it to Smitty. We will determine where they go with it or how they branch it, how we might want to intertwine it with CFM or what have you. The options are there. So if you read between the lines, Rex basically said the higher ups wanted to get this in, but once it's in, it's on us to build on it. That's basically what he said. So you guys have to start comprehending a little better. I got to call y'all out on that. Because when y'all ask me questions that have already been answered by a dev, that's the reason why you don't get replies. I'm just being real with y'all. I ain't wasting my time on those of you that can't comprehend what has already been told to you. I'm just keeping it real. But Smitty, what was your initial thoughts, man?
Check your DM real quick.
Got you. Okay. Go ahead, Smitty.
All right. Now, what I thought about it, basically, when I first heard it, I feel the same sentiment as you did. I saw it, then, I was like, okay, that's, I was hoping for it to be more of a true superstar kind of deal, superstar mode kind of deal. But that's what we've been accustomed to over all this time. So it's like they're trying to do something different. And, I spoke with Pat Belanca and I spoke with Mike Young about it and everything. And, those are the guys, and big ups to those guys because they worked on that. And it's like they're doing something different for sure. Now, it does have elements that you will play, but it is linear, like what Sim said. And the thing is that once I did take a look at it, I started warming up to it. And, I was even telling my wife, like, yo, when I get it, I'm definitely going to get down on it. Like, I'm definitely going to play it because it was interesting. It definitely was interesting what they put in there. I'm like, oh, okay. All right. So,
Smitty came out the room. I got to tell y'all this, guys, because Smitty actually saw it after I did. Smitty came back to the area and was like, yo, hey, yo, Sim, that long shot, it's official, yo. It's official.
Yeah, man. Like, I'm telling you, there's some things they shown us. There's some things that they shown us in there and that we got to see, even though it's just a little bit, but there's some things they shown us in there that was like, oh, really?
Right.
Oh, okay. All right. So, I'm going to try it out. And I mean, that's how my feeling was when it came to the Telltale games back then. When I was like, oh, you really don't control much? It's a lot of multiple choices and stuff you're doing? Oh, that's what you got going on? And, I'm all right on that. But see, the thing is, what I did was I started watching people do Let's Plays, and I seen how the narrative would play out. And then I actually gave it a shot, and I actually ended up loving it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna give it a shot. What it is that they do. So, I know that people feel slighted. Especially when, like what Sim said, what a franchise. What's going on with that? But when them corporate wigs come, when them corporate wigs come through and say, hey, this is what y'all got to do. It was successful over here. FIFA moved 21 million units. A lot of the people, according to the data, they're playing the journey. Hey, we need to get on it. We need to get this in Madden ASAP. So at that point, that derails what Rex and the team want to do initially, and they got to go along with that line. They got to adjust their game plan. So it is what it is. But we are not being slighted in terms of core gameplay. That's for sure. So, but I'll throw it back to you, Sim.
BX1, man, initial thoughts on Longshot.
Man, I don't know how much I'm allowed to say, but all
Be
this.
careful. That's all I say.
Personally, I wish they would have spent the resources on CFM. I would have, wished they fleshed that out. I think that would have brought people in, made them happy.
Mhm.
However, I understand the idea. It's not necessarily marketed to us. It's marketed as something to catch the eye of somebody that maybe hasn't played Madden in a while, or maybe has never played Madden. Maybe females that haven't ever played Madden, and get them in. It's kind of, you said it's kind of like a movie. I say it's kind of like a Netflix miniseries that's somewhat interactive. If the way I look at it is, I would definitely rather have not been in it and put all that resources into franchise. However, if it serves its purpose and it brings 2 million more people into the Madden ecosystem, then that's the additional revenue that comes into the game. That's more players that play the game. That's more people that can potentially become sim guys like us and play franchise. I think from that aspect, it could be good. Whether that's going to happen, I don't know.
And we'll see.
There are cool things about it. It was well done, but me personally, but it's not marketed at me, so.
Absolutely, man. Really, I don't know where you're gonna go with this question, to be honest. I'm sure it's not something that tickles your fancy, brother.
Okay, so you see my DM, so obviously I can't give my full thoughts on this.
Right. Because we could say more, but we gotta be careful.
A lot more, and I gotta be very careful. Actually, I have to be less careful than you, technically.
Right.
But I'm not about to mess my relationships up with certain people. I understand why marketing did it. It took about 20 minutes of Rex telling me repeatedly why marketing did it for me to stop being pissed off about it. I was never pissed at Rex or Clint or any of the developers about it, or the people who developed it. I'm not even a CFM person. I haven't played franchise since it was regular franchise mode, doing fancy drafts with my friends back in the day. And that's just more so because of like all the different, like we've talked about before, every league's so different and stuff like that. And like I never found a league I really wanted to play in. And just certain things like that. And not to mention, I focus a lot of my time on playing competitively. And as you know, I'm going back full time this year. Now that I've healed back up. My thoughts on it is if the PR that they're trying to do, if the reasoning behind it being there right now over some of the other things they could have focused on works, and they pull in more people into the ecosystem, as PX1 stated, I'm cool with it. Am I going to touch it? Hell no. Not once. I won't touch it. They better not make me play it to start the damn game, because I will not be happy. I don't even like playing like the little Cam Newton intro they had last year or the one they had this year. I don't like none of that crap. Like, especially when the glitch was in the game where it made you play it every time you started the damn game up. But it's not for me, bro. It's just not for me. The whole idea of it's not for me. If it was more like a my player type thing, even though I'm not a big 2K fan, don't sleep on live either, y'all that's in the chat.
Ooh, that's next week. Ooh.
That's next week, but do not sleep on that because it is serious.
Oh, I'm actually going to have, I'm allowed to say this. I was told by one of the community managers, so if I'm not, then you got to deal with him on that. But I was told I could tell y'all I will have some live NBA live footage. I want to say the 21st. So stay tuned.
Okay. But yeah, as far as Longshot, it's not for me. To be honest with you, a lot of people on here, like, I don't feel like it's something that they're going to spend a lot of time with. It's something they might play once. I don't know. I could be wrong. You never know. But I feel like it's more to pull in new people than anything else. And for all those who keep saying, why is that the trailer we got and not gameplay? Trust me, if Rex could stream the game right now, he'd be streaming it.
Yes, he would.
I literally gave away to Joke. I don't know if y'all seen Joke and Duke retweeting it. I literally gave them 4 million coins worth of cards because I can't play 17 anymore. Not even for money. So I have no interest in Longshot. I'm more interested in the game, bro, and developing what I'm gonna do.
I feel you, man. It ain't gonna be for everybody. Real quick before I throw it to Zulu, OS, and Azure, we'll run through this, and then the last thing we're gonna do is we'll all give our real quick 1 to 2 minute lasting impression of what we experienced, and then I got to get out of here, man. I'm already overdue, but Zulu, man, I guess it's a real simple question to you and Azure, without actually seeing it up close. Is it something that you think you would try? Did you like it? Did it piss you off when you heard about it, or what's the business on that?
Well, the problem with Longshot is not Longshot. It's first of all, to the quick, no, I won't play it. But but the problem with Longshot is that the thing it was supposed to do, it failed at, and the thing it was supposed to do was supposed to present the possibilities of that mode. And if nothing else, all it showed was that the people who were at EA Play were kind of just waiting around for some gameplay. When you think about, the viability of that mode, I think that they misjudged their audience. Who's going to talk about the mode, and how are they supposed to talk about the mode? Well, there was some actors up there, and it was CGI, and they were talking and looked interesting. Okay, now let's talk about Madden. It was almost like that wasn't Madden. And so when you compare it with what was it? Is it Battlefront? Like they had stormtroopers come out, so you knew what the game was about just on the feeling. And then they kind of built it up, and they built it up, and then they had old homeboy from the Star Wars movie jump on, and then they showed you gameplay. So they still had the bells and whistles, but what they did is they integrated that with gameplay. So my point is that even if you don't want to show gameplay, and even if you don't want to overshadow this great new mode, which is supposed to bring in a different or perhaps a more diverse audience, the way in which you did that was very poor. It felt like something out of the 90s, where you kind of stand up there, press a button. You have, like everyone's kind of watching TV, and like, okay, now let's move on. So the PR group or whoever was involved in that, because Rex wasn't on that stage. So whoever was involved in the presentation didn't know what they were doing. If you were catering this to a new audience, then why aren't the people who are supposed to represent that audience somehow integrated into that new mode? To me, it was a failure in terms of the concept, or excuse me, a failure in terms of the presentation of the concept rather than the mode itself. The mode itself, I mean, let's say, or sometime around September, someone might tell me, yo, man, that was pretty good. You ought to play Longshot. Oh, really? I would be surprised, because based on what I saw, I would never know that could be interesting. It was just kind of, like, well, we're going to start off EA Play, and here, watch this. And then later on, hey, watch this. We're watching it. No, your job is to present it. Your job is to give us a sense of anticipation. Well, I pretty much forgot about it as soon as all the other modes got, as soon as all the other games got 10 minutes, I kind of forgot about Longshot. And I would say that in the future, if they are going to expand or develop that mode, they've got to do, the very people who want it have to do a better job of presenting it, which I find to be ironic, given that Rex was throughout the 3 days, he was on Periscope doing a better job of presenting gameplay that we couldn't watch than the people who were supposed to be hyping up Longshot. We saw some gameplay, some footage of Longshot. We saw nothing, no gameplay, no footage of Madden, and yet I'm more hyped about Madden, even though Rex didn't show me any footage. So I think Rex did a better job of hyping the gameplay we didn't get to watch than the presenters did of Longshot. So that's my 10 cents.
The funny thing is, and I told Sim this, Rex actually undersold the game when he was talking to Sim.
He really did.
Wow.
He really did. He really did. But the funny thing about what you just said, man, before OS comes in, that's exactly what happened. I told him that too. I was like, why did they start the nobody on stage to even talk about Longshot? That was terrible. I did not like the presentation. But to answer a question in the chat real quick, again, guys, listen to the interview, man. And I'm not telling you to do it for numbers. People gonna view it regardless because nobody has Madden stuff out here, so it ain't about that. He's answering the questions that y'all are asking. Why did they not show gameplay specifically out of the horse's mouth? It was a marketing decision. They want to focus on Longshot. That is the answer. You guys have to listen, man. I'm not being harsh on anybody. I'm just saying the information is out there. That's why I do the interview, because I know all the answers. I could be selfish and don't say a word, but I did the interview for you guys to have somewhere to go and listen. 23 minutes worth of footage. He's telling you exactly what's going on. Millennium, man, what was your initial thought when you heard of Longshot?
Well, I'm going to go a different way with this. I'm going to be devil's advocate for everybody here for a second. First of all, does anyone know what resources were spent besides 4 years of Mike Young and Brian Murray's time? Can anyone on this panel answer that?
I have an idea, but I don't know if I can say it. I was told.
That part I know.
I'm gonna relax on that for a minute.
Wait, that's fine. Like I know how many people are involved. I know all of that. I think a lot of people would be very surprised to know that, and how many of those people wouldn't have anything to do with CFM.
Yeah.
Mike Young doesn't work on CFM. Mike Young was an art director. I mean, I think a lot of people keep saying, wow, these resources should have went to CFM. Well, we've been saying that about Mutt for years. I mean, Mutt makes the money. Guess what the next thing it's going to make the money is? Log out of your Twitter account. Get away from your normal circle. Type in hashtag Longshot and tell me what you find from Saturday. We're the minority we always will be.
Yes. Speak on it.
This is what it is. Okay. I'm not just talking about franchise. Mutt is the minority in one way, only one way. And that is casual fans. We're all going to buy the game, guys. We say it every year. Oh, I'm not buying it. The gameplay is terrible. Guess what? We all do. Every one of us are buying the game. That is not what EA Play is about. EA Play, when we were the guys that were there, that's why they have the community guys there. Guess who's going to be releasing the footage this year? Sim. Do you know?
Yeah.
We all know.
Yeah.
You know why? Because we're the ones that talk to the hardcore fans. Guess how much Madden did you see in the Xbox One X on their press conference? How many sports games have you seen in general in a major press conference for a major developer, period? That's not who they need to catch. They need to catch, the dad with 3 kids who just wants to experience football. They want to catch, the 15-year-old kid that doesn't even know how NFL's played. And guess what? They're not charging anything for this. Like, this is a $60 game that you're buying anyway. You ain't got to touch Longshot. So let me put it this way. It's going to bring more fans in because the Journey did. The Journey worldwide brought more people to a soccer game that didn't play soccer. Mm-hmm. This is going to bring more football fans that find Madden too hard to play because they're all out there. Madden is on another level these days in terms of having to onboard in terms of training, which they're focusing on more and more across EA Sports. It is hard to play for a casual fan. Casual fans do not pick up this game and succeed. It's getting to the point where it's like FIFA. You ever go online in FIFA? Play it? What's your first game? 12-0 loss.
I got my ass kicked.
Yeah.
How would you feel if we all started off the same time and Relly got some new kid that doesn't know what anything he's doing, but he just got his Mutt team together? Mm-hmm. He's getting blown out. But if he gets into Longshot, he's got this awesome experience of a story mode, something to get him in the NFL, and all of the gameplay, QuickTime or whatever it is, because there is more than QuickTime in there. All of it is catered to them. And you know what? I hope more hardcore fans open their minds to it too, because it is a great story. It's
crazy.
It's a very good story.
Yeah.
So guess what, hardcore fans? You and I are the minority. This mode may or may not be marketed to us. You don't know the resources. I don't care what you think you know until you step behind those walls at Tiburon. And I'm not even talking about the ones that have been there already, until you've actually seen what was being built on Longshot. And by the way, Mike Young, this is like a career dream for him.
Yeah,
I interviewed him too. This has been his dream for a while. So you don't even know what he does. Can anyone tell me what Mike Young did besides art director on any of the Maddens before this? Yeah, good, Sim.
That's all I knew he did was art.
Art director, right? Oh man, he's a big loss to CFM, isn't he? No one knows. And I'm really tired of seeing, the resources could have been better used for this. You know what? You don't know. You don't get it. So this mode is not for you. Don't play it if you don't want to. Give it a shot if you do. It's free. Deal with it.
Here's the fun fact real quick before I throw it to Azure. I'm going to have to wait till the game launches to make sure I won't get in trouble. But I'm going to actually tell y'all where the resources are at. That's going to be funny when I tell you where some of the resources are. So keep that in mind. AZ, what was your initial thoughts, man, when do I dare ask you? Because I already know Azure ain't feeling it. I'm going to tell y'all right now. But Azure, what were your thoughts, man, on Longshot when you heard about it? I see. Oh, there you go.
I had a situation over here. But I don't know, man. I have mixed feelings about it. I know why they did it. I understand the corporate move that it is. But at the same time, I'm kind of like, if I heard that you don't play in the NFL in it, so it makes me think that it's a continuing story that will be continued, just like FIFA story mode. And I just have to wait to see how it's going to play out, because what do you actually play? You call it a movie or a cinematic way of playing Madden, but what is the play aspect of it? It has to have something. I mean, people don't want to just sit there and watch it the whole time. And then when it's done, what's going to be the replay value of it? You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. Right. So, I mean, you did all that to bring new people in, but once those new people are done with it, what are they going to do? They're not going to have any connection to Longshot in MUT or CFM. So, like you said earlier, we need to just be cognizant of how it's going to continue and how it plays out with what Rex announced in your video with live updating for CFM and things of that nature. So, me, I don't want to toot my own horn, but I basically created football story modes. So, basically what they can do, I don't know, what they can continue with it, but I'll play it just to get it over with. But I'm more so looking forward to the gameplay of Madden. Like, I think it was PX1 that said, or somebody on the panel, excuse me, people, wanted to see gameplay over Longshot. So we'll see, man. I'm ready to get my hands on the game. I played 17 longer than most.
Oh man, yeah, I'm at the end of the road, bro.
Yeah, we all at the end of the road, and we tried to infuse as much.
I'm sitting on autopilot. I got to jump in there and play a game, man. I forgot I was still on auto.
Yeah, so I'm excited to see what 18 has, especially with the new 3 game modes and us probably not being nerfed down this year. So.
Just to respond one real quick, you ask what those guys that the casual fans that pick up Longshot, what connection are they going to have to the game? They're going to have the game.
I'm saying not what connection are they going to have to the game. What connection are they going to have to Longshot after that story is done? Once they played it and completed it, they'll have the game, but it's not like, in my player, a continuing thing where your story just continues and you keep going through cutscenes. Like, once Longshot is done, it's going to be over. until
like Journey was the same way though. Journey was the same. You had a guy you put on your FUT team, but I mean, other than that, like Journey was the same way until this year.
That's what I'm
But
saying.
they got Be a Pro though. That's the difference.
Yeah, but Be a Pro doesn't. Like I said, you have Superstar mode, but Be a Pro doesn't have Alex Hunter. Like you're not creating your own player.
No, I know, but I think what Azure is saying, which I know is what my biggest beef was, why they didn't at least. I said they should have followed what the Journey did because it's more playable games.
Right.
But also FIFA's crowd, if that was us, we wouldn't be that mad because we still got our Be a Pro, which is way better than Madden's creative player. So I think that's where they're kind of missing it. You know, it's a tough sell, but like you said, man, I think we know why they're doing it. We really know why they're doing it. We've had these conversations, and if it works, it works. But I encourage everybody to give the feedback. Like Rex said, the community will help shape where it goes. If we want it out of there, and that's the consensus, they're not going to continue with it. So we'll see, man. I think it's very important to lay the feedback on that topic. Guys, it's 10:27. We got to hurry up and get out of here, but we're going to run through real quick. We'll all give our lasting impression. I'll go last because I'll just wrap the show from there. I'm going to be tough on us all. Try to do it in a quick 60 seconds. What is the last thing you want to state to the community guys listening right now in terms of your experience at EA Play? Smitty, I'll come to you first, and then we'll go down the line from there.
You said as far as the overall experience that I had with EA Play?
Yeah, just say, the lasting impressions on Madden and, any address you want to give to the community.
Okay. I mean, I'll say real quick that, overall, I was very pleased with what I got to play. I was very pleased with talking with Rex and everything we got to do, at the event, especially in the creator cave. My daughter want to talk while I'm talking now. But no, everything that, like from spending the hands-on time, standing back there and talking with the devs as I played, pointed out a lot of things. Like, I'm very impressed. And the other takeaway, we did not talk about it today. Maybe we'll do it. We'll have to do it next week for sure. NBA Live 18.
We own it next week.
That's a must. We must talk about that next week. That was the biggest thing. I didn't even play FIFA. I didn't play anything else. Matter of fact, I didn't even play Battlefield, Need for Speed, none of that.
Y'all got some footage coming on that too.
Those are the only two I played because I was so, especially with Live, I was so blown back by the way it was at this point. So yeah, so I'm looking forward to, that's what got me the most right there. But I'll throw it to the next person.
Yeah, we'll do that next week because that's perfect timing. Footage will be out by then, so stay tuned for that. 60 seconds, man. PX1, lasting impressions of Madden 18 at EA Play and any address maybe to the community.
Kind of like what I said earlier. I feel like it's better in a better position now than the beta was last year, so I think that's promising. I agree with you. For people that are skeptics, go rent it first and try it for yourself. Play it for a few days before you decide to buy it if you're worried about it, but I don't think you should be. I think it's going to be the most realistic game we've played. I think it's going to be most visually enticing game we've played, and it's going to be the best version of Madden, and I'm excited about it. I can't wait. I hate that we got 2.5 months to wait.
Absolutely. Really, shoot us your 60 seconds, man.
Well, I mean, since really I really didn't speak on this much, and I'm the only person on this panel. I think that a lot of you who have been upset with the competitive community and the way that it looks when you see your tournaments, you're not going to be as upset watching the tournament now.
Yeah.
You're not going to see a lot of the same things. You're going to see a lot of different play styles. And this goes for Sim, too. You're going to see a lot of different play styles. My biggest takeaway was really just not only the coaching adjustments, because we didn't even go that in depth into coaching adjustments. You know what I mean? We just mentioned that they were there similar to NCAA, but with a new take on them. And then there are other things that may still show up that we can't speak on yet that could just be bonuses, you know what I mean? So overall, I had a great experience. I was cool. Everybody was cool. It was nice to see all y'all. And shout out to Nas, too. But that's it.
Yes, man. Listen, the generation gap was in full effect.
Wow.
Me and Relly sitting there like, do y'all not understand who this? It's Nas. It's a legend. And some of them were just sitting there like,
yeah.
I'm like,
Sim was pissed.
I was pissed off. It's like, that is Nas. Esco. Like, live from the barbecue. It's Nas. I was pissed. But good thing is, man, I got a chance to go in the back, met him once again. I told a lot of you guys I met him before in the past life, so it was cool, man. But I'm gonna jump to OS. I don't, you know.
Oh, one little thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
Problem's definitely winning a major this year.
Ooh.
Problem is definitely winning a major this year. This game is tailor built for Problem.
Wow. I'm looking forward.
I'm just putting it out there right now. It's happening. Maybe more than one.
No.
He scares me more than anybody else this year.
That's what's up, man. I'm looking forward to that. And like you said, I'm looking forward to the game showing better. That's key. So OS, man, go ahead and bring us home. Unfortunately, you know, Zulu and Azure can't comment because there's no gameplay footage. So what to do? But what's your last 60-second impression, man, on what you want to share with the community or how you felt about the game?
I'm going to share something that I tweeted earlier today, and it's kind of the entire EA play, not just Madden.
That's fair.
A developer walked up to me and said, "Don't butter us up. If you're here to do that, then you got no reason to be here."
There you go.
Walked and said it to multiple people and was not like just blowing smoke up our asses. Excuse the language.
Nice.
Yeah. That was the most refreshing thing I've ever heard. And these guys are serious about making this better. You saw it, Sim. I shouted you out, and I'm going to get a list together, but we've got a simulation mode in this game now. It's going to be extremely important for us to come together as a community to give constructive feedback.
Yes.
Everyone that wants to hate can hate. I'm fine with that. You can have an opinion. It's yours. It is your voice. But if you want to make this game better, it is time to step up and try to make this game better. You want a hand in evolving where this game goes, you have got your shot. And now's the time to step up for that.
Hey, that's 1 second. What Millennium said about developer walking up to him and saying that. I had Christian, Rex, Clint, all of them walk up to me and directly say, "Don't go out there and say anything you don't feel. Say what you think about the game." Mm-hmm. And I even had developers asking me about certain features saying, "Do you think this can be exploited?" And target passing was one of them. And the only place I really see it being exploited is MUT squads. And to answer your question, I keep saying, no, there's not a ladder in MUT squads this year.
Oh, it's going to be OP in squads. Because, if you get that chemistry with your, God, people trying to man you up playing the corner. Wow. But, yeah, I can agree with that, what they just said. That's been told to us ever since we've been going down there. And my lasting impression, man, is give it a chance. Rent it. I'm the first person that will tell you, if you can, go to the red box, play the game. A quick tip I would give you guys. I was going to buy MLB The Show anyway, but before I actually was able to buy it the next day, I happened to be in my local grocery store. I looked in the red box, and the game is in there the day before. I was like, oh, and I picked it up just to get my hands on it early. So what I'm saying is, if you can wait, which a lot of people always claim they ain't going to buy it, and they the first ones in line, which is hilarious to me. But if you can wait, watch all of the content that you will eventually see. If you have an Xbox, EA Access will be your best friend. If you know myself, and Smitty, and probably some of these guys here who may be able to get early copies. And when the embargo is lifted, we will be streaming. Get as much footage and play it yourself and have your own opinion. Stop listening to what guys are saying that are good, and even us. You can even take what we're saying with a grain of salt, because it's going to be what your experience is. What you think is good, I may think is bad, and vice versa. So experience it for yourself. I think the lasting impression for me, the game is in a good spot. Are there things that we still want in the game? Obviously, yes. But all of us here tonight are speaking specifically on the product that they're presenting. We're not looking at the feature that didn't make it. That's the feedback we're going to give in another session. But I think the game is in a good spot. It is definitely has realistic football principles. And the biggest thing Rex said, pay attention to the legacy issues that were addressed. That is huge. Huge. Because it's stuff that you're going to see and you'll be like, wow, man, how long has that been plaguing the game? And it's no longer happening. So that's it, man. We are way over our time.
Sam,
go ahead, man.
I wanted to say something publicly to you.
Yeah.
Because I seen like your screenshots that you were putting out as comments today. I just wanted to say, man, I really respect your level of control, man. Because some of the stuff that's being said to you is just unreal. And before people get in this comment section that aren't in this chat right now, I wasn't one of the people that got flown out. So I can say whatever I want about this game. I'm not just blowing smoke.
Mm-hmm.
But y'all need to stop with all this stuff that y'all put in some of these people's comments, because that some of the stuff I seen on Sim stuff is just ridiculous. And I really respect you for the way that you handled that, bro. Because
you got to, man. It's you know what it is? Like real recognized. Real. It's like I grew up, I lived in a life, where some of the stuff these dudes say would get them punched in the mouth. So it's easy for me to laugh at it because I'm like, really? Internet thugging, like, okay. Like, I just brush it off because I'm like, I know you're not going to say that. I've actually, and listen, I'm not saying I'm no tough guy, nothing like that, but I'm real because I've actually bumped into people in person that had a lot to say. And when I seen them, it was all love because I was, they weren't expecting me to be like, oh, so what was that you were saying? Like, we need to rap real quick. They won't try to do that. So I'm just saying, man, it's easy for me to brush it off because I'm like, real people don't do that. Real men and real dudes, like, what I'm trying to say, they don't do that. They ain't chirping like that.
Nah, it's just like the streamer that was talking about me, Dubby, Problem, and all them, who said he was coming to see us at EA Play and didn't show up.
Of course not.
You know what I mean? And then all of a sudden he just blocked us all. And I'm pretty sure everybody on this panel knows who we're talking about.
And real people don't take it that serious. It's a video game at the end of the day. It's a game. If Madden,
my whole thing was, if you really have a problem with me, when you see me, then address it to me.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
And even me and PX1, we went back and forth on Twitter a lot until we met in person. You know what I mean? Like it's just, but some of the things that people say, like the way you handle stuff, man, I really respect it, bro. Like for real. Like that's just really, I want to make sure I put that out there.
Appreciate it, man. I just got to find ways to just kill them with kindness, man, at the end of the day, because it's laughable. Because I used to snap. So and Smitty know that. But it's like, it ain't worth it. And whatever. Because they looking for a reaction anyway. But, man, congratulations to you guys as y'all stretched out my sleep time, and Millennium will know this because he doesn't live that far from me, actually. I have to travel from Pennsylvania to D.C. to go to work tomorrow, which means I have to be up at 5:30. Crazy. So I should be asleep, but don't y'all ever say I don't do nothing for the community because I'm going to be dragging tomorrow. But it was worth it. And next week, NBA Live, and all of you guys are welcome to come back. Actually, man, I'm going to put this out here right now. This is what we always wanted. I would not mind having a panel type show all the time when there's main topics to talk about. I'm sure as these games come out, we'll have opportunities for that. But this is great, man. I think these are the best shows because it's community involvement, all different people, all different playing styles, and we want more of you guys to come on. So this was great, but definitely want to thank everybody for tonight, man. PX1, Relly, Millennium, Zulu, open invitation, man. But that's going to do it, man. I appreciate everybody for coming on. Stay tuned. What else did I not say? I do have live footage that will be coming. And I got Need for Speed. And I'm going to do something here in public that, whatever, who cares? But OS, do we have an embargo on that? I don't even remember. Can we launch Need for Speed at any time, or is it a date on that?
I think there's an embargo, but I don't know the exact date. I'll find out for you.
Yeah, because Shop wasn't sure either, but
yeah.
Hey, can you keep us on after you turn off the live for like a second? Because I have a question for you and Millennium too.
Yeah, I'll be on for a hot second. It shouldn't cut us off. But all right, man, y'all, as far as being live, we are out of here. See you guys next week, man. Don't forget to check out everybody here on the panel. Of course, they all have YouTube. They all have Twitter. Follow us all collectively to be informed and get real information, because y'all know it's a lot of people that don't do this. And check out Shopmaster as well. That's the last thing I'm going to say. Make sure y'all support Shop, man. Shop has been on EA's Twitch on Tuesdays for quite a long time, and it's fully CFM based. I need more people to be watching that, because if you guys say you're in the CFM the way you are, there's no reason why that doesn't go crazy every week. So y'all make sure y'all do that, man. All right, we'll see you guys later, man. Peace.